So from a chess tournament a while back, I was playing in the Virginia State Championships. I was in high school. And in the second round of the event, I'd won my first round, and I was playing against a master, a grown man master, although albeit only in physical form, not necessarily in mental form. And after like 20 or 30 moves, I had a completely winning position. But the rounds, you're given 2 hours on your clock. And so my opponent, in a dead loss position, left the tournament site, went and got lunch, came back, sat in the corner, and ate his lunch while glaring at me menacingly. Okay? And, I mean, obviously he was just very, very upset that he was losing to a kid. But, like, to me, okay, he's paid his entry fee, and he has 2 hours on his clock. Should he be allowed to use those however he wants, including, like, essentially wasting 2 hours of my time rather than resigning again in a completely lost position? My belief is that, no, this is completely unjustified, and, like, he should be penalized for doing this. He was not.
I would not have penalized him. I think the functional, if he had sat there racking his brains over the board for 2 hours, he's entitled to do that. He's being a jerk. I don't disagree in the slightest he's being a jerk, but I think, it's within the rules. He's allowed to do it.
Okay. I was just curious because, like, to me, I think the line should lie somewhere between that and just, like, conceding every time you're down 20 imps. But I see that you're still, like, even further in that direction, which is totally fair.
Extreme views? No, surely.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's totally fair. I'm not gonna fault you for having that opinion, but at the time I was pissed. I yelled at the tournament directors, and they're like, "There's nothing we can do. He's allowed to do this in the rules."
Yeah, and if I'd been you, I would have gone and got a book and sat there reading my book and maybe eating my lunch while he was being a dick. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, well, I got up, but every time I got up to, walk around, he would come back to the board and make a move, so, the game would take longer, because now my clock was running. And
yeah, so he's clearly just being a jerk.
Yeah.
And, it's probably not, there's nothing in the rules of the chess tournament that says anyone who is obviously being a jerk will be expelled.
Right. But, okay. Anyway, that was my theoretical thing. Well, not so theoretical thing that happened. Well,
I think where I would draw the line is, there's a difference between trying to win in a position that's almost certainly lost and that. Like, if he had played it out, figuring that you were a kid and, you might do something stupid and let him back into the game, that would be very different. No one would have a problem with that.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
I think
here, Dinkin probably won't win 185 imps, but they could,
Yeah.
It might have been Bob Hammond said something like, "I will play it out and maybe my opponents will revoke." That seems like the same kind of thing, right? You're playing for something sad to happen, but it's still within the realms of these things you're allowed to do.
Yeah. All right. I did notice in the blue room, I see a very nice play by North in 3 no trump. So she could have cashed that last club when she was in the south hand and dummy, but her hand would have been squeezed in spades, hearts, and diamonds. So the decision to not cash that last club, just leave that winner stranded, and then set up her not only an 8th trick in spades, but an entry back to that stranded king of hearts as a 9th, is fairly nice. The diamond position is such that the opponents cannot take more than 2 diamond tricks the way she has played the hand. So she will end up making her contract and earn a bit of a nice swing for the Dinkin team. And oh, perfect. Oh, this is wonderful. I just noticed that there is no Sam Dinkin playing in this room. I'm such a terrible person, but I feel fully justified in saying this. I really do not want to see any more of those auctions. And I think if he's in for the 8th segment, I'm going to do a single player perspective of someone in the other room. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I didn't pay that careful attention to the 3 no trump contract in the blue room, but Yoko definitely handled that end position very well. And we're on to board 32. In the green room, 3 passes around to south, and Migri opens a no trump with her 15 count. I guess I would invite on the north cards, but we might see him just transfer to spades and then force to game.
Yeah, I think opposite 15 to 17. Forcing to game is probably like very slightly too much, but most players would do it anyway.
Yeah.
Like the weak spades, obviously, are a pretty big liability.
Right. You know, like put that 10 of clubs in the spade suit, and I don't think it's even particularly close. You just do it because that Queen 10 fifth could be opposite King Doubleton and come home for 4 tricks. But
I'm going to bet that at imps, both these tables are going to force to game.
it's possible. It's possible in state of the match considerations as well. They might elect to be a little more aggressive, thinking that that's the only way to prevent a comeback or to actually make a comeback. So Andrew Rosenthal, I think, makes the practical choice, maybe the technically correct choice of just bidding 2-0.
I think non-vulnerable is much closer. Yeah, Biggery could have taken out to 3 spades, I guess. But I didn't really have any reason to.
Yeah, 4-3-3, she doesn't see any value in getting the trump suit involved. She has plenty of cards in all of the other suits. I mean, even Queen 9-8 is going to function fairly well as a stopper a lot of the time. So she elects to try for the 8-trick contract rather than the 9-trick one. I don't know if that's going to work out great for her here unless she guesses the spade suit.
Yeah, but of course, if you were playing in spades, you would probably make the same misguess that she's about to make here.
Yeah, but in spades, she at least has the time to go after the diamonds herself. Whereas in no trump, it looks like the opponents are going to be able to set up clubs rather quickly. This jack of spades might be a little revealing to her, but yeah, she does elect to pop up with the queen. So we'll get a 3rd round of clubs from Billy Cohen. Probably the 5. I think he's going to realize that he wants to be on the lead when he gets in with the last club to put a heart through, and so he does. Yeah, and Declare is just a little bit too slow in knocking out all of the cards that she needs, whereas in a trump contract, she would be able to start going after diamonds already. So club through, heart switch.
So in the other room, West led a heart.
Oh.
Which means that Ron, even with the same spade misguess, is actually going to go plus here.
Yeah, I assume that's true. So East-West are going to collect 3 hearts and a spade from here. No, I think Declare is still going down, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think if he wins this and just plays on diamonds, he'll make it.
Yeah, but no one's ever going to do that.
He won't. Yeah,
right. He'll just knock out the spade, hope that the hearts are 4-3, and
right. West will cash 3 hearts and the ace of diamonds.
Yeah.
Still won a couple of imps, I think.
Sure. Yeah,
he just got an extra heart trick, so that's 2 imps.
Yep. But it is worth noting that both Souths elected not to play the 5-3 spade fit, I think very sensibly. I don't think I would fault anyone for trying 3 spades, just figuring, well, we did find an 8-card major suit fit, let's give it a shot. But both of them rejected it this time. So board 33. We'll let Ron... I guess there's some world in which Declarer doesn't... never mind. I'm done with board 32. Ron will go down at least one trick. So a club in the north on board 33, green room. Eastover calls a spade. Looks pretty normal to me. South electing to bid a no trump. She probably had a couple of options available to her. I mean, she could have bid 2 clubs if she wanted to raise clubs, but she has a spade stopper. 2 spades by West. And North has like a good hand. The Queen-9 doubleton of spades is not as worthless as it normally might seem, given partner's 1 no bid.
Yeah, and I think certainly there's a universe in which it just starts a no trump, 2 spades showing spades in a minor, 3 no trump, or or 2 no Lebensol ending in 3 no trump.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, they do that.
I have to assume that's getting alerted.
I think it's just natural invitational.
Okay. Maybe right on value on North's cards. Although, for most of us, we might expect to see something like 18 to 19 for that kind of bid. But it's true. I mean, he has a hand that's probably worth 1 club, 3 clubs in the context of the auction.
Mm-hmm.
And he elects to just try for the 9-trick game with a 6-card club suit and the Queen of Spades probably pulling full weight. Whoa!
Partner did respond to no trump, so she's got at least 2 clubs, so he can be fairly confident that he'll have 6 club tricks most of the time. So
wow.
6 clubs, partners, and a half trick. All of a sudden, you're at 8 even before you get to the King of Hearts.
Right.
Yeah, this has to be just be a state of the match double by Billy with some extras and figuring they're probably not going to make over tricks when he has a good hand and partner raised.
I wonder, do you think he's intending this as don't lead a spade?
That's possible too. Yeah.
I don't know if that's how I would read it. I think generally these types of things mean the opponents are in trouble.
Yeah, I think that's, I think his intention is, the opponents are probably in a thin game, given that he has 12 points of partner raised. He's not getting back into this match in any meaningful way without some oddities happening, so this is a decent spot to look for one.
Right, and I mean, this might work. Oh my god. Blue room.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I like this action better than Andrew's 2 no trump.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, are you really so happy if it goes 2 no trump all pass? Like, what hand are you catering to? We're here, at least you sort of have 7 to 7.5 tricks between clubs and spades already.
Sure. Well, I was wondering if Andrew might have gotten cold feet after the double and run to 4 clubs. He did not. I mean, he passed it out in quick tempo.
Yeah.
And Tracy, I think, understandably, doesn't lead a spade. She probably thinks that might be what the double likely is, but she gets off to a club lead, which is not gonna. It's not gonna hurt, but it's not really gonna help their cause.
No, I think probably. Let's see. So what's Migger going to do here? Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Now she's down.
I don't think this is great for her. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's not down yet. The defense does need to be careful about how they play the hand, and
I don't think they actually do need to be that careful.
Jack of hearts.
I think either red suit now is good enough because
I agree.
he has to knock out the spade.
Well, but 3 rounds of diamonds is not good enough.
Right, 6 clubs and 1 everywhere else. So they've got to play on hearts before they play diamonds.
Right. And I don't think it's so clear for Billy to play a heart, and I also don't think it's so clear for West to play a heart when she gets in with the diamond ace, like if Billy switches to a low diamond here. I think she's going to come out okay.
And Billy... Let's see. And I think he'll probably play a diamond now, because where are his partner's values, right? They're not in hearts, they're not in clubs, and they're not in spades.
Yep.
And I wonder if, given the double, there's any chance that Migri puts the queen on that, playing him to underlead the ace-king.
Very possible.
I mean, it's a big play, but...
No,
he might. I mean, he might lead the jack, which wouldn't, you know...
Yeah, but like, it's impossible, right, unless we're playing West to have psyched a 2-spade bid.
Right.
Okay, sure.
Because West has turned up with no values so far, and the only missing card is the diamond ace. Yeah, so she does play 2 rounds of diamonds, and now the contract's gonna come home.
Yeah, so Billy gave it a nice try there, playing king and then a low one.
Yeah. Migri hoping for over tricks at this point. I mean, she's hoping that a low spade will come back ducked or something. No, just 9 tricks. I think it was gonna be... I think it was gonna be hard for Declare to make this if left to her own devices.
So, meanwhile, one of East-West does not believe that Migri can take 7 tricks from here.
Hey,
I would guess it's West because I think Migri is like explaining what's happening at this point, but who knows?
Well, look, they paid their entry fee and they have their own clock time that they can use however they want.
Yeah.
All right, I'm being trolled now.
Yeah, yeah. That's what you get for joining the call.
Yeah, did West go out for lunch and is now menacingly eating a sandwich in the corner of the room?
It was one of the most incredible things of all time. There are some real characters at chess tournaments.
Yeah.
So Billy's double only cost his side 3 imps. 3 no trump was going to make on the same defense if they came up with that defense at their table.
Yeah.
Billy opens a no trump, 15 to 17, and West has quite the hand. I mean, I would certainly bid 2 clubs, and then I guess my plan is to just pass whatever partner bids.
I think my plan would be to pass 2 diamonds, but raise 2 of a major to 3. As scary as it looks.
Yeah, that's probably right. I mean, with a void, you know, it's like sometimes you just have the magic fit and everything works.
And partner could have a 5th one in the suit that you're finding.
Yep. Okay, so 2 clubs, 2 diamonds. I mean, we can't bid 2 no, so our plan had to be to pass 2 diamonds if that's what partner did.
In the other room, and possibly this room, North is not done here.
Yep. Yeah, North has the stiff diamond. I think I would pass, yeah, so I like Andrew's choice here. He's vulnerable, the opponents are in a part score, like... West has showed a hand with like length in the majors, so he doesn't expect to find a major suit fit. If he's found a club fit, fine. Are they really taking 9 tricks? Maybe.
Meanwhile, I think Ron is going to be doing reasonably well in three clubs doubled here.
Oh my god, three clubs got doubled. Okay, yeah, let's look at that hand because it looks like Billy Cohen is going to be somewhat comfortable in two diamonds, although he has misguessed the singleton king.
Yeah, so Ron is going to, he can sort of take five clubs in his hand and two hearts is seven and ruff a couple of diamonds, so if he can manage it, he can certainly take nine tricks. Whether or not he can actually do everything, I'm not totally sure.
Yeah, so spade over, I mean, Michael will probably switch to trumps.
Yeah. But of course, West has the diamond entry and does not have any trumps at all, so she can't lead a second round.
Yeah, they'll still cross
over
the spade and put a second trump through, but basically everything sets up. Like, Declare could lead a low heart off dummy. Michael can't afford to duck this, but that will set up three hard tricks. The Jack 10 of spades is going to set up in dummy for a discard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the low heart off dummy also potentially is an entry to hand for a further diamond ruff. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it looks to me like 1, 2, 3, 4. So the defense can come to, of course, the diamond ace, two spades, and the king of hearts. Those tricks are all pretty easy to collect. And then the question is there either some way where we can tap dummy out of enough trumps that Michael scores the club king, or that we can prevent enough diamond ruffs?
So presumably, I was going to say plays a diamond, but I guess not. Huh.
No, I thought he was going to put the queen of hearts on the table here, actually, because this is just going to set up his tricks, right? He's going to have 3 hearts and 4 clubs. He can just play hearts through east if he needs to, so he doesn't really need the clubs and dummy as finessing values.
Yeah, I mean, this also kind of effectively strips Michael's spade entry, because if Michael doesn't cash the spade, then it goes away on the third round of hearts.
Right.
It does seem as if Declare is going to find his way to 9 tricks and 3 clubs. I mean, Michael's best defense is probably a heart here, but
I think Ron also, by this point, is pretty confident that the ace of diamonds is with West because he basically knows all of East side cards.
Yeah, Michael didn't false card on the first trick, so he's showed up with the ace, king, queen of spades, the king of clubs, the king of hearts. Can't have the diamond ace, that would give him like 19 points or something.
Yep.
Meanwhile, 2 diamonds is made.
Yeah, 2 diamonds made in the other room. Looks like a decent result for East-West.
Comeback is on.
Yeah. Yeah, still a long ways to go, but Dinkin has picked up a little bit on the first couple of boards here. So Michael tries the king of spades. That did not cash. Now Ron gets to exit a diamond. And I think, like you said, Craig, Declare is just going to be able to run major suit winners through East. Maybe, hold on. Maybe Declare needs to be a little careful. Like if spade comes back and Michael pitches a diamond.
Yeah, Just wondering about that. So Ron can now play, but can he just play 3 rounds of hearts?
But if he pitches a diamond, he just finesses in clubs, draws trumps, and has 3 heart winners.
Right. Okay, yeah. So heart has to come back, but now Ron can just start playing hearts. I don't think there was
Same
any
thing.
real defense.
Dummy's good with the club finesse.
Yeah.
But they have no entry, so you got to do it this way, right?
Yeah. So ace of hearts. Now we can play either of those jacks. Well, not the club jack, but the other jacks.
I think even the club jack is good enough.
Oh, you're right. Because we can just rough diamonds in.
If Michael covers, you just rough a diamond at the next trick.
Yep. But this is also just 100% safe. Spade pitching a diamond, heart pitching a diamond, then lead the jack of clubs.
Yep.
So, nice little pickup. And as you had mentioned, 2 diamonds making the other room with an overtrick, even after Declare forgot to rabbi. So 110 and what is it, 670 is gonna be 13 imps.
I believe.
13 for Dinkin, who, if you rearrange some of the numbers on their scorecard, they're only down 1 imp.
Alright, if you arrange enough of them, they're up 600 imps.
That would be an interesting form of scoring, where your objective was not to score the most total, but to get the highest numbers in the individual slots. All right, board 35, we have a bit of a difference of opinion in the 2 rooms about what to do over heart opener from West. I think I like a spade.
I do not care for that double. Yeah, 16 points and a flat hand and a 5-card spade suit. Why are you looking for anything other than 1 spade?
Yeah, it's not too far off, but the poor distribution and arguably weak spade suit, right? Sometimes for a single suited spade hand, you would have a 6th trump or 4 honors rather than just 3.
Well, and particularly here, where whatever partner does, you're committed to betting 2 spades.
Right. Yep.
If it goes a club double, at least then your follow-up action is going to be at the 1 level. But here,
so I think here probably Rosenthal is going to big game, which I think goes down 1. Lose a heart, a diamond, and 2 clubs.
Lyoko has now found yet another ace beyond her initial action.
Well, look, 2 spades doesn't really show extras, right?
I suppose. Yeah.
The 2 spades just shows that we found an 8-card fid and is basically preemptive. So I think 3 spades is the bid once you've made a takeout double.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but I think I'd rather be in Rosenthal's position.
Yeah, I agree. He's giving it some thought.
3 outs is a mixed raise. He might go low.
I think his pass here shows some extras, so...
Yeah, he was able to make a maximal double.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 spades. I think when you pass the double of 3 hearts, yeah, so Rosenthal, I like this just because it's consistent. I don't know if he should bid game or not, but once you decide to pass the double of 3 hearts, you can't really overrule partner's 3 spade bid from there.
Right, wouldn't a redouble in that position be the maximal redouble?
Well, so your question is what's the difference between pass and double? Because one of
pass
them...
and redouble, yeah.
Yeah, it was pass and redouble. I suspect one of them would be slamish. So I guess my belief is that redouble would be the slamish type hand.
And so passage is anything short of a slam interest?
No.
Also...
So this would be like better than 3 spades, right? But
Okay.
not willing to commit to the 4 level myself.
Yep.
So I would just take the fairly simple view that passing shows a hand like this, where you kind of have, an invitational hand, where you're not sure whether to be game or not, and redouble would just be a control.
Right.
Like, I think if North redoubled,
Yeah.
I would expect him to have a singleton heart or the ace of hearts, like specifically be showing a heart control.
Yeah, but I mean also a slam try, right? Because otherwise you would just
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't think that redouble could just be like a generic, I have even more extra values kind of redouble. I think it's specifically a heart cubid.
Oh, that I would tend to agree. I guess I would need to think a little more about what 4 clubs and 4 diamond type hands would show, because I think redouble has to be all hands that don't go through 4 clubs and 4 diamonds. You also have 4 hearts.
Right, but 4 clubs and 4 4 hearts should probably be a void. But 4 clubs and 4 hearts also could just be, especially this vulnerability, setting up action over 4 hearts because West has made this aggressive double of 3 hearts.
Sure. Well, 3 spades in one room, 4 spades in the other. The ace of clubs is offside, which means the declarer is... Oh, well, actually in the green room, Andrew Rosenthal didn't even bother taking the club finesse. I didn't pay that careful attention to the way the play went, but now he's kind of stuck himself in his own hand, and he'll just have to cash that queen of diamonds pitching a club and give up 2 clubs, which is perfectly fine. He's only in 3. In the other room, Ron Smith declaring in the south. Got a heart lead. Knocked out the ace of diamonds and is now getting a trump switch, not giving anything away. I mean, I expect him to pitch a club on the diamonds at some point, and then take the club finesse. He's going to feel a little cheated that opener does not happen to have the ace of clubs. Okay, he might go off 2. I mean, the way he's playing it now, he needs to play a club to the king immediately.
You're talking about in the blue room?
Yeah, in the blue room. Hey, V8. Good morning. Yeah, so Debbie's now going to leave Michael on lead, and Michael, looking at this dummy, will realize that Debbie wants him to put a club through. So club to the 10, queen of clubs, declarer is going to end up down 2.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter, but Andrew has made the decision to pitch a heart that he could have roughed instead of a club, which seems a little unusual.
Well, you say it doesn't matter, but now what?
Well, with the 10 of hearts on the side, he can lead a club to the jack, and West can either give him a rough sluff or play another club. I mean, he's going to have to guess the club.
Right. Okay.
Or he could do this and go down.
Now he's going down. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Andrew's just trying to make everyone feel a little better about themselves, make the match closer at the end. You woke up extra early as there probably won't be a final 15 boards. No, we have confirmation they will be playing the entire set because the Dinkin squad, I don't know exactly who it was. I think Ewan keeps telling me, but I've failed to listen.
He doesn't listen to me, so I'm used to that. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, well, someone on the Dinkin squad, or maybe multiple members, decided they wanted to play the full match, get some more experience playing at high levels of competition. So
That's quite a strange play by Rosenthal there.
Blind spots.
Even in the end, you just needed to pitch a club instead of a heart.
Right, yeah, I mean, just blind spots, right? Like, he wanted to take the club finesse, and he was looking at king third opposite jack third, and he's like, okay, well, I can lead the king and then play low to the jack on the next round, I mean, effectively.
Right.
And that'll be 75% for my contract. He just didn't realize that he could cross-ruff instead and give up on even finessing in clubs.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we'll see a similar auction in both rooms on this board. So East opens a club in both rooms, South has overcalled a heart, and West has made a negative double. Now in the blue room, Yoko elected to bid 2 hearts, just a weak heart raise. A lot of players play transfers over doubles in a lot of these spots, and so this is where 2 diamonds would be a constructive heart raise. So we do see the same auction. No alert yet on 2 hearts, but it might be coming.
Yeah, I think we did see earlier that Migri and Andrew don't play this way, but it might be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So is West now, do you double again, or do you bid some number of clubs?
So you're looking in the blue room. Yeah, so we see a bit of a divergence at the 2 heart point in the auction. So Debbie likes to bid 4 clubs, which I think is reasonable. She's concerned that if she reopens with double, her partner might pass it out, and she has no trump to lead at trick 1. So
yeah, so this is also really interesting because now that Debbie has bid 4 clubs, Michael over there, knowing that he has a 4-4 spade fit, is still passing. And obviously Debbie's a little short on clubs for this action, but a little surprised that they're going to play some 4-level contract. He didn't want to try to get the game bonus.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, he obviously thinks that Debbie is 4-6 in spades and clubs or something, but still seems like a fairly big position to check it out in 4 clubs.
Right, yeah, for sure. That definitely surprising. So in the other room, they do make it to 4 spades. And I guess let's turn our attention over there, because it seems as if 4 clubs is going to end up down a trick. At least 1 trick. Declarer will be able to eventually set up the diamond suit, but it's going to cost him 2 diamond tricks in the north. Good defense by Ron to prevent any sort of diamond ruffs in East's hand.
Mm-hmm.
So in 4 spades, what exactly is the plan for Declarer? We get this Ace of Hearts lead, which might look friendly on the surface, but with the King of Hearts in the north hand, this is just going to allow North-South to start tapping out that King-Queen 4th of spades holding.
Well, do you plan to just lose? You can't lose to the King of Hearts because you've got 2 club losers. Yeah, you lose 2 clubs and the King of Hearts.
Yeah, but Declarer has to be worried about how the trumps are breaking, how he's going to get back and forth, whether he might be off a club ruff. Like, if you play it wide open, you do fine, but that's a lot easier looking at all 4 hands and just looking at 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm not fully convinced that just 3 rounds of trumps and starting on clubs is what I would do. I would be very worried South has the heart king. Right? And if that's what's going on, then if I pull 3 rounds of trumps and start clubs, North wins a club and puts a heart through, and South gets to set up 2 heart tricks.
Yeah, I mean, you could play Queen of Spades, Diamond to the King, Queen of Hearts if you think that's what's going on, which at least gets you 1 extra heart trick through the roughing finesse.
Right, and I think that's going to work out very poorly if Declarer tries that plan.
I think so too, yeah.
So
yeah, you're going to end up probably having to tap yourself out.
Right, and I don't think North
And
South are
straining
playing
the diamonds.
Right, so I don't think North South are playing Bruce no leads, which means that Ace of Hearts lead would be consistent with South having the Ace King.
For sure.
But we'll see what Billy does. I mean, it's possible that North's heart spot at trick 1 convinced him that the King of Hearts is over there.
Do we know if North South play standard or upside down signals?
I think it's standard.
So let's see.
I feel like we just play a club now. I mean...
Yeah, so let's just say we've got 3 tricks in. What further 7 tricks are we hoping to take?
2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 spades, and a heart. That's my plan.
Or 2 spades and a ruff would be
Yeah.
the same instead of... Yeah. Yeah, so playing a club now certainly seems like the best way to try to accomplish all that.
Are we just cold if North has the Heart King, though, if we pull a 3rd trump? So we pull a 3rd trump, we play a club. If North wins and switches to diamonds, I guess is most effective, we can win, knock out the other club, they play another diamond.
Does it help them to duck a 2nd round of clubs after doing that?
No, it does look like we do go down if the opponent switched to diamonds had we pulled a 3rd trump. So I wonder if them switching to diamonds is still going to be the most effective defense here.
Yeah, and I do wonder if Migri is just going to play a heart through to try to score her partner's king. Nope, she is playing a diamond. Nice defense.
Yeah, but I believe Declare can counter this by now roughing a heart and then playing another club. Wait a second. Hold on.
But then...
No, it's actually not clear to me. Because heart rough club, then South can actually duck the 2nd round of clubs, and then what you were saying, cutting off the dummy, does play a factor.
Right.
If South ducks, you just draw the last trump, play a 3rd club, and you've got the Ace of Diamonds entry.
No, but the problem is South can duck if you play the 4 from your hand and win if you play the 10.
But if you're taking a heart rough and you're playing a club back to hand,
No. Okay, I see it. So we rough a heart. Well, this is double dummy, which I don't know if this is how Declare should play, but we rough a heart, and then we play a club. It doesn't matter whether or not we play low to the 10 or low, and South ducks or wins. But suppose that we play a low club, South ducks, we play a 4th round of clubs, South wins, and plays a diamond.
Yeah.
We win the ace, and we play the last club. North has to rough, otherwise we've collected our Jack of clubs. We over rough, and now we knock out the King of Hearts, and we still have a spade to prevent a diamond tap.
Right.
So it's like a trump substitute is that 4th round of clubs, where we're now collecting 2 heart tricks instead of 2 club tricks on the deal. But this is a little double dummy. Billy is thinking it through to try and come
And
up
also
with...
notice Migri also made a very nice play of the Ace of Clubs to sort of continue the illusion that she started with Ace King of Hearts.
Oh boy, I think we're going to see what I just suggested now. So Billy has found this plan of roughing heart, and he's got nothing better to do at this point other than play a club. Like, he might play low to the 10. It's not really going to matter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my guess would be that he's probably fallen for what Migri has tried to portray herself as having.
Right. And so, I mean, Migri's a little stuck. I think this might have been Ewan's point, where, like, if she wins this, then Declara technically just has 2 entries to get back to the dummy, and if she ducks this, right, Declara can now pull a trump.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So he does pull a trump, and now he's going to have multiple ways to get to 10 tricks. He can either knock out the Heart King or knock out the Club King.
Yeah, either one will work. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the defense will take 1 heart and 1 club, no matter what he does. Yeah, so pretty good result there.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, the odd choices by East in the other room cost him.
Speaking of other room, hold on, alert, alert. Yeah. we need to take a look at what's happening over there. We are at 6 clubs, awfully fast. A diamond by North in first seat. East passes. I mean, Michael feels like this is just another ordinary hand when he looks at his random 5 count with 5 small spades. 3 clubs invite. 4 clubs by West. I mean, we've talked a little bit about these 7-5 hands in the past, and I mean,
I think 6 clubs doubled was par.
6 clubs doubled was par. Yeah, well, five spades definitely makes.
And I think 6 clubs looks like it's down, what, 3, right? You lose a club, a heart, and a diamond, so it's only down 2.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so it's...
So I just noticed in the green room they had a director call. It seems there's been a misclick. Billy Cohen did not rough the diamond. He pitched his heart winner on it. I think that should clearly get adjusted sometime soon. But over the 4 club bid, we got 5 clubs from North. I mean, I think very reasonably so. She does happen to have a club fit. 5 spades from East. 6 clubs by Ron in the South. That's a big bid. He has no defense, but regardless... Oh, wait, he has the Ace of Diamonds as defense. Whoa, hold on.
So I actually had the vulnerability wrong. 6 clubs doubled was not par. 5 spades undoubled was par.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 6 clubs is a big bid by Ron. He did successfully push the opponents into 6 spades. I don't think I can fault Debbie for the 6 spade bid. If Michael only had a singleton heart instead of this doubleton, she would be very happy.
Yeah, so Yoko, I think, doubled just to say that she does not have a spade void, because for all she knows, Ron was bidding to make 6 clubs, and if she passes, she might hear 7 clubs.
Yeah, it's a little risky to believe that you're in a forcing pass auction, especially in a newer partnership, if you haven't had discussion about it, but... Yeah, that's very possible that she was worried if she passed, she might hear 7 clubs from across the table.
So more than 30 imps
from elsewhere in the hotel, you mean? But yes. Sorry, what's that, Ewan?
I was saying, more than 30 imps picked up so far, and this is another plus position on 37.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All those people who might have thought they didn't want to play this set would clearly be an error.
I don't think it's anywhere close to changing the outcome. We could continue at this pace, and I expect that Rosenthal would still comfortably win.
Yeah, so you'll notice, in fact, even though they're winning this set by 33 imps after 7 boards, that's actually not on pace to get back to winning the match.
Yeah, they'll get another 90.
They'll at least feel a little better about themselves.
Yeah, they definitely will.
But they've averaged 5.5 imps a board, and they need to be averaging more than 6.
I know my camera is blocking the cards. No. How could I possibly know that? I'm not aware of what's going on. Thank you. This is why I keep you around. I think you should get VIP for that comment. Normally, I only reserve VIPs for people I know in real life and for DT. but DT has been permabanned from the channel, so...
Is that really true?
I believe I have space. Now my camera is no longer blocking the cards. I hope you're happy. This is why you stick around, for me getting my face mushed in between the clubs.
Oh my god, I have 8,300 channel points now.
8,300?
And I don't need to use any to put DT in a timeout, so what am I going to do with them?
I don't know. I don't know. That is a real question. Well, in the green room on the giant 7-5 hand, we have a bit of a difference in opinion about what to do with the West cards. So Debbie Rosenberg was quite happy to queue 4 clubs to show both majors in her auction, whereas Tracy Bauer has elected to completely ignore the spade suit. Feels a little weird to me to do that.
Yeah, I think bidding... I mean, obviously this auction is different from the one they have in the other room, right? But, because North opened a diamond in that room.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think bidding Michaels, then following up with a heart bid to show the length disparity seems like a fairly normal course of action.
Yeah, so this might work out fairly well for... Oh, maybe
I mean,
this
it'll
isn't going to work out fairly well.
It'll work out well enough because they're going to go plus here, but, you know, it is a little embarrassing to miss your 10-card fit and making 5 spade contract.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you know, they're going to win imps, but that's kind of coincidental.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand why. I feel like, though, if you're going to treat it as a heart 1 suitor and do this kind of thing, then just bid a club pass, 2 clubs, 4 hearts. Like, what's the point of sticking in a 2-heart bid if you're going to bid 4 hearts in the next round?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, well, 5 clubs is going to go down a trick, it looks like. There's a diamond trick coming to the defense eventually. Nothing that Declare can do about that. He does have 2 who's declaring? Yeah, Andrew Rosenthal. So he does have 2 discards on the King, Queen of Hearts. But
yeah,
we'll eventually
with
lose
both
a diamond.
diamonds in the slot, you don't even need it.
Yeah. So in the other room, we have about 5 rounds of bidding, which got them all the way up to the 2 level, and then a leap to 6 no trump. Which I have to say, I haven't even looked at the auction, but 6 no trump cannot possibly be the right bid.
They have 14 top tricks by my count with the spade splitting. 6 spades, 4 hearts, ace of diamonds, ace king queen of diamonds. Ace of clubs, ace king queen of diamonds.
Yeah, so let's see. North has 18.
Including all 4 aces.
Yeah, I kind of understand what North was going for here, which is she looks at the auction and says, okay, partner has showed like 11 to 13 or maybe 11 to 14. I have 18. We have at most 32 combined highs. It's unlikely that we can make a grand, but she's game forced with 2 diamonds. You know, her partner bid whatever he bid, 2 hearts. She showed her single suited spades and partner bid 2 no trump. You have plenty of room to explore if your partner could possibly have this like amazing maximum hand over here for the auction where you do just make a grand slam. And so you should use up that room. This is something I think I mentioned before, where I see a lot of weaker players pick up these big hands and then be scared that their partner is going to like pass them, or be scared that they don't know if a bid is forcing or not forcing at some point. And so they'll just like leap to a contract that they're pretty sure they can make, like 6 no trump. But being able to navigate through more delicate auctions like this is something that separates, you know, just average club level bridge players from people who are, you know, A-level players or experts.
So I agree with everything you just said in principle. And now I will challenge you. Go back and without absolutely double dummy masterminding, construct an auction where that actually happens. And they end stuff no trump.
Well, okay, so let's say at some point as the North player, I bid key card and partner shows me 1 and I bid 5 no trump. South can count 13 tricks.
So, okay, again, though, what's the auction? So South bids 2 no trump. Do you bid 3 spades as North now to quote-unquote set spades as trumps?
Sure. Yeah.
South bids 3 no trump?
Right, and so I assume 4
Are
no...
you 100% sure 4 no is key card?
Yeah. I've showed a single suited spade hand.
I think it probably should be 2, but... Yeah, and right, on that auction, partner shows 1, you bid 5 no trump, confirming all the key cards. Partner can start showing kings or just say, yeah, you can count 13 tricks, right? 6 spades, 4 hearts, 1 club, and 2 diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Brad
right,
says...
because if North just wanted to bid quantitative, he could have done so, or she could have done so without stopping off to bid 3 spades. So yeah, I agree, that should be the difference.
Sure. Yeah, so Brad says not just forcing versus non-forcing, worrying about actions being too committal, might not have wanted to rebid 3 spades on such a fairly weak 6-card spade suit. I agree with that. Didn't want to bid a secondary suit that they didn't actually have. Yeah, there are a lot of things that players can worry about and might be, somewhat concerning if you're not comfortable in some of these spots. But I think one of the ways to get comfortable is to just start going slower in some of these hands where you can have a slam or even a grand slam and taking your time. You're going to make mistakes and you're going to end up playing in, 4 diamonds when you're cold for 6 spades sometimes. But hopefully over time you will learn not to do that.
So Rosenthal and Mig have gotten off to the same start in the other room pretty normally in a standard context. I think unless you're playing 14 to 16 no trump, this is going to be the auction at every standard table.
Brad says he doesn't know if 1 club past 2 spades being a 6-card invite is common in the US. It is not. What is common is having a minor, a major, a no trump, 2 major be invitational. So a club, a spade, a no trump, 2 spades is invitational with 6.
Yeah, I think that's like a little less common, but a club, a spade, 2 clubs, 2 spades, showing invitation with 6 is fairly common. Playing weak jump shifts, we were talking about this with Aaron the other day, who said he would just always take out 2 of the major with his 5-card suit, opposite a no trump rebid, and I think that's fairly standard.
Mm-hmm.
So meanwhile, Migri has found a different action than Ron Smith did by raising 2 spades to 3.
Yep.
So we'll see if that gets Andrew to the key card and figure out that Migri could have this exact hand. He's just Q-bidding. Well, it's serious, so that might help him.
Yeah, so 4 clubs, Migri will definitely Q-bid. I mean, she doesn't have controls, but she has tricks. And so she's going to be very happy to Q 4 diamonds back.
And she has
one minor thing. Andrew may now believe that Migri is 3-4-2-4, which means, he doesn't have a diamond discard even conceivable for his club loser. So he really needs solid hearts.
Right, but as long as he's the one who bids key card, Migri can count the tricks.
Migri can count them, sure.
Yeah. Right. And this is maybe something that I suppose some players might not be familiar with, is like your partner bids key card, you respond to key card, your partner asks for kings. You can just lazily show your kings, but it is important to pause and start counting, right? When you have all the key cards, sometimes you just have enough to bid 7 no. And I've seen a lot of auctions where a player will lazily respond to kings and then their partner will go into the tank for like 3 minutes and sign off at the 6th level, and now it's really awkward for you because ethically, right, like you're still
know exactly what's happening.
Yeah. Like you're still entitled to the information that you have all the key cards and that you should have been able to count 13 tricks before. But also you're going to get a director call when you then raise 6 to 7, and you'll need to have a very good justification.
Right, you're not really allowed to have table action wake you up to the fact that you made a mistake on the previous round.
Right. All right. Well,
so skip key card entirely, right?
Yeah.
So I hate this action by Andrew here. I think, he sort of second guessed his own original plan. If he bid 4 hearts, maybe Migri can come to the conclusion we just did and keycard yourself.
Right. Yeah, and similarly from Migri's side, like if she keycards and finds out 4 with Trump Queen, she can once again count 13 tricks, and she will confidently bid 7 no from there. But yeah, I mean, Andrew does need a perfect hand, and sometimes it's very difficult to find those perfect hands, but we could go slower once again. Sometimes good things happen if you go slower in the auction. I do like to say that it's important to try and construct a way to reach the grand, right? Because like you're saying, Craig, well, you got to come up with an auction, and if there was no way that North could find out the information he needed to know, then sure, just jump to slam. But
by the way, you know what the best grand is, I think?
7 hearts?
I think so.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So if hearts are 3-3 and spades are 4-1, you still make it.
Right. Yeah, so V8 makes a funny point that just players at the local club would, of course, keycard, but I also think that some players at the local club, depending on who you asked, might keycard, find out the one keycard, and then put it in 6. And
yeah. I mean, it's sort of interesting because Andrew has a hand where he really wants his partner to ask about key cards because his entire hand is key cards.
Mm-hmm.
You have 4 aces and the queen of spades and nothing else.
Well, that's kind of an argument for keycarding yourself, right? Like if you find out you're off a key card, you weren't planning on not bidding slam, right? So if you find out you're off a key card, you just bid 6 spades and hope. And if you find out you're not off a key card, then you bid 5 no and you've showed your whole hand, which is amazing.
Right.
Okay, I've not been paying any attention to what's going on in either of the 2 rooms while discussing that previous board, where I think most players in the open trials, or most of the pairs in the open trials, would definitely have reached 7 something on that board, whether it's 7 spades, 7 no trump, or maybe 7 hearts if they had diagnosed that. Then
we'll be back in one moment.
Yeah.
In the green room, Billy made a very cautious failure to raise the 2 spades, I guess, over the 1 no trump.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess I wouldn't say it's particularly cautious. 4 triple 3, he only has a 5 count. The scary thing is that your side has a spade fit, and you probably have a fairly safe lead against a no trump of just leading partner spade suit. So 1 no could go down. 2 spades might make, but I think you're very unlikely to make game. And if you are, I think partner will reopen with double or something like that.
Sure.
And so in terms of part score battles, like maybe you make 110 and the opponents are going plus 90 or plus 110 if they have a heart fit or something like that. But sometimes it just goes a spade, a no trump, 2 spades, double with hearts all pass, and you wind up minus 500. So yeah, I do not like raising with East's hand. Did they raise in the blue room? Is that why you commented?
They did.
Wow. Does that surprise anyone? I mean, I'm a little
It
shocked.
surprises me. Red, the Rosenbergs are usually not hyper aggressive on hands like this.
Yeah, okay. Well,
And Michael had a good lead against one no trump, so I'm not sure why he thought he would rather let his party declare 2 spades, but it worked out okay.
what was the result in the blue room? Why do I not see a result?
Top left, plus 110. Top left of the green window.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Yeah, V8 has the same question that I do. Okay, let me refresh the page because I don't see the result. Yeah, that's where it used to be.
Yeah.
But it is...
The stream has been glitching on this kind for a while now.
Okay,
yeah,
there we
odd.
go.
I'm seeing it on my view.
We're back. 2 spades in the west for 110. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And how is a no trump gonna do? Is Michael Rosenberg gonna make me look stupid as usual? Maybe. One no trump has... Well, declares 2 tricks in. That... I guess he's set up a few other tricks. He has 3 hearts and 2 aces to come. Oh, one no's gonna make.
Yeah.
So obviously Michael was correct that we should be raising to 2 spades. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, Ewan. That that now after elaborating why 2 spades is such an awful bid, it just happened to work and earn his side 5 imps, I guess. Maybe more, depending on what the defense does from here.
Depending on whether Andrew's going to make some over tricks.
Yeah.
I do not think that is incredibly likely.
Yeah, you're right. East has the clubs, West has the diamonds, so there is no squeeze. I also suspect that a club is probably getting played here, but maybe I'm wrong about that. What have I missed in the blue room? They're in 3 no trump. And... looks like Declare has 9 tricks.
Yeah. Yeah. Diamonds are good.
Diamonds
So...
is good enough, yep.
Yeah, so no dummy entry to jam that Queen of Clubs through, but I guess Declare is quite happy to just score up her non-vulnerable game. Is Debbie playing? No, it's Michael playing. Five of diamonds, a big card. Wouldn't have raised to 2-0 without it. Declare in the green room is unable to claim. He doesn't know about the heart split yet. Or the club split, but he has plenty of opportunities to make this contract. So Billy could make the, what was it, the John Hurd play? The concession play of lead a club back. Now Declare knows that the clubs are coming home and doesn't need to think anymore. There it is. Well done by Billy Cohen, speeding up the play in the green room. I'm waiting for it. Come on, Andrew, make the claim. There it is. 7 tricks for Declare. So yeah, 5 imps. Was 2 spades cold? I didn't even look. Is 2 spades cold? Declare has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losers.
It does look like there's some work to do.
Sounds like no then. Okay, hold on. I just counted 6 losers for Declare. Well, anyway. We're on to the next hand. In both rooms, in fact. So blue room, we have Ron Smith opening a no trump in the south, a very, very good 17. Even Gibb wouldn't open this a no trump. Gibb would upgrade into a 1 spade opener. One no, all pass. I'm sure Debbie is sitting over there thinking that she's might be getting stolen from. Ron opens a no trump, 3rd seat, white red. But he has his bid. How many tricks is he going to take? We'll quickly head back to the green room after I spend a minute thinking about this. So he'll go after the spade suit or the diamond suit. Looks like he's going to end up taking, well, the heart, a couple of diamonds, probably the ace of spades. Maybe not much more than that. The spade suit is not particularly friendly for his side, and the ace of clubs is offside. So it'll be down a few, but no double, no trouble, as they say. And over in the green room, we see the auction proceeding, where West opens a diamond, East bids hearts, and then rebids 1 no. With a bit of an awkward hand type, 5-5 in the 2 suits that partner hasn't shown. I think some players might have been tempted to rebid 2 hearts on Billy Cohen's hand, but 1 no trump I like a lot better.
I think it's a little interesting that Michael took the 2nd diamond, which gives, declare an entry to dummy, but there's nothing good he can do with it, really, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I guess maybe...
I also think... Well, I think the reason Michael took the 2nd diamond is he probably got diamond count from his partner, and looking at his hand where he has no entries, he would rather use the ace of diamonds to do something productive, like put this heart through declare, rather than duck and let declare then just switch to whatever suit.
Switch to a different suit, yeah.
So a bit of a double dummy mistake from Michael here. If he had played a club through, then he would still be able to get back in with the 3rd round of clubs, run the suit, and then put a heart through eventually.
Yeah, I think if Debbie puts a spade on the table through the jack, he'll still be in okay shape, right?
Oh, yeah, but I mean, that's never happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice fantasy that you're living in over there.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Now Michael throw a 9 of clubs or something? Some signal to say, hey, consider a spade.
I think he'll probably play a low club. Okay, he chooses the 3.
I don't know what signals they play, right?
Well, I think he's probably intending to say that, leading a club is safe. So I believe Debbie's just going to lead a low club at this point.
Sure.
Whoa! Okay, that is a big play.
Do you take it back now about playing a spade through the dummy?
Yeah, I guess she's desperate to try to set
up. Maybe she thinks that her partner's showing the ace of spades, so wants to cash him and have him lead a club through. It does seem very committal, huh? So, if Ron ducks this, I'm sure she's about to play another one.
Yeah. Wow. And now the spades get unblocked. We have access to that stranded 9 of hearts. Declare just made this.
Declare just made this through
with an over trick.
With an over trick. What? How was... Wait, an over trick? Are you sure?
Yeah, we just played the 9 of hearts, catching a club and with the spades. This is amazing. Man. Yeah, what did Debbie think that club 3 meant? Obviously, she...
Yeah, maybe she had some inference from the fact that Michael defended this way. Like, she was obviously trying to figure out what hand he had for his defense to make sense and came up to a horribly wrong conclusion.
So I'm trying to think about it, right? Because the heart opening lead went to the 10. And once Debbie cashed the 3rd round of hearts, she knew that Michael had the ability to play a club through dummy and elected not to. Or a club through declare and elected not to. So I think that marks Michael with club stuff, right? If Michael was sitting on a bunch of small clubs and just the doubleton heart, he probably would have switched to a club rather than return partner's opening heart lead. So I think that marks Michael with either the king or jack of clubs, which I believe means Debbie should have just switched to a low club. That would have been my choice, personally, just a low club.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing what happened. So obviously she got very brutally punished for the way that everything was set up. But she probably said, hey, declare either has the ace of spades or he has a bunch of club cards like the king and jack, because I think she'd already seen declare turn up with the king queen of diamonds and the king queen of hearts as 10 high card points, and he's open to no trump, so he's kind of limited in what else he can have. Man, I don't know. That is very suspect, whatever happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the green room, well, something exciting is happening. The opponents, so in the blue room at the other table, South ended up playing a no trump and made 2, and now East Western 3 now on their cards, and this could also make. It probably will, right?
That 1 no trump overcall, red-white by West, is really not my kind of action.
No, but I think it's going to work. Everything is just on side for declare and fitting perfectly. The clubs come home for 5 tricks. We have 2 spade stoppers, and we have 2 red aces.
Yep, she's got a spade entry now, or in a moment to take a club finesse. Clubs are 2-2. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, she might consider going up with the queen here. Oh, yeah, sorry, South opened a spade. Never mind.
Yeah.
Like, if North led from the ace of spades, maybe you want to think about going up with the queen to take that club finesse. That's what she's doing.
Oh, no.
That's just sad.
No. Please. Get me out. VZL says, I'm not sure if I'd call that one no trump call, or the worst no trump call in the auction. You don't support the 7 count 5 card suit 3 no bid?
Yeah, and keep in mind, East is down 150 amps. He needs miracles.
True. I don't think it's as crazy as people believe. What a lot of people expect is that these 1 no trump overcalls, people play them as 15 to 18, right? Or they might even call it 15 to 17. But realistically, you don't just bid this 1 no trump with a balanced 15 count. You need to have stuff, because you're opening yourself up to a penalty double that most people don't have available over a generic strong no trump. So your hand does need to be a little better on average. And
yeah, 19 is more likely than 15 in this position.
Yeah, which is unusual. So, Billy with a 5 card suit, some decent values, and he probably also thought the queen 10 of spades were good cards, and he wasn't wrong.
That markers, he would have been right.
Yeah. So he decided that maybe my 5 card club suit is good, and that's going to be worthwhile enough.
yeah, Migri here has not continued spades. Obviously, she's also reading the wrong thing into that Queen of Spades play, so I think Declare might be back in okay shape here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, after the King of Hearts switch, Migri had to continue spades to beat it. I assume it was... Oh, no.
I know, it's ping pong where everyone is trying to...
We're just... Everyone just wants to be friends here, right?
This seems crazy because Declarer has to know that the Club Finesse is a favorite.
Yep. I agree.
I just play a heart, let Migri do whatever she does, and then eventually cross the Ace of Diamonds for Club Finesse.
Uh-huh. Okay, so it's still not over yet because the Declarer does have 8 tricks available at this point. Can set up a heart. She has the King of Spades, has the Ace of Diamonds, and 3 more clubs. So North-South might need to be a little careful defensively, although with the diamond suit stranded in the dummy, I think both Migri and Andrew can successfully just start discarding diamonds. Or spades. Only need to keep their hearts. Which might be a little scary from Andrew's perspective. He should probably know that trick 1, something went awry, right? Because Declare with King 9 third would have played the 10 from dummy at trick 1.
So, is there any possibility that Andrew is going to think that Declare started with 4 spades and Migri opened a 4-card third seat 1 spade?
Yeah, possibly, for sure. So now that Migri has pitched the 2 of hearts, Andrew does need to be very careful. He does need to save all of his 8/7 third of hearts.
I think it's possible that Andrew is going to be fooled by that Queen of Spades play and think he needs to keep his Jack 8 of Spades. Maybe that doesn't make sense because if Declare had the 9 of Spades, he would have played the 10.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I'm pretty sure he'll realize that a spade pitch is probably safe, but he is going to need to make another
obviously
discard.
You can't pitch both, yeah.
Yeah, he is going to need to make another discard on the 8 of clubs. I'm also wondering what the holdup is.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's possible that South and West are having some like methods discussion or something.
Yeah, that's possible. Well, let's head over to the blue room because the auction is catching fire in there. We have a blue card out on the table.
Seen quite a few of those as this match has gone on.
That's true. So diamond by South. Ooh, look at Ron go. Look at what he opened. What a player. 10 count. First seat. Good 5-card suit. So partner bids a spade, we get a 2-heart overcall. He makes a support double, showing 3 spades. Redouble by West. Some interest in competing. And Michael likes to bid 3 hearts. I'm a little surprised.
So by the way, Andrew did pitch a heart, and now he's pitching another heart.
Yeah, so Declare is going to make 3 now at this point.
Well, no, because the defense is 2 diamonds to cash.
Oh, Andrew pitched all of his hearts, but has maintained Jack Doubleton, so they have diamond communication. Yeah, well done. Well done. So Migri just needs to go Queen of Diamonds, diamond. And that'll beat the contract from here. Yeah, Rosenkrantz redouble, Doubleton heart. I suppose it hasn't been announced as specifically honor Doubleton, but that is the way that most people play it. That this would be like Ace King or Queen Doubleton.
Yeah, she just explained it as any Doubleton, but I would guess that with 3 deuce Doubleton, she probably wouldn't take this action.
Right. I'm still surprised by Michael's 3 hearts bid. I mean, it's not as if he has a good 2 heart overcall.
Mm-hmm. So meanwhile, look at what's happened in the other room, where Migriez at the very last decided he did not want to go plus after all.
Oh boy. This board just needs to be forgotten. Oh my.
The declarer has finally decided not to make any further errors. Brutal.
You sure 3 hearts was just barrage? I don't know what barrage means.
So like a blocking bit, a preempt.
Yeah, the thing that's strange to me is just like Michael's hand's so flat that what was he worried about them competing in? 3 diamonds? I mean, fine.
Yeah, it's a bit of a law total tricks violation knowing he has exactly 8 hearts.
Right. And I think 3 diamonds was going down. How did he end up doing in 3 hearts? He apparently pretty well. As long as he guesses the clubs, he will end up losing just 1 club trick from here and making 9. So it worked out.
And I think, given that Ron Smith opened the bidding, I think he will not have any trouble placing the ace of clubs.
True. Not a term in the US. Look, like I said, anything with more than 2 syllables, you're really going to have to just define for me. Pull out the Merriam-Webster.
How are you pronouncing barrage to have more than 2 syllables?
Barrage? Oh, whatever. Look, okay, anything with like 2.1 syllables or more. And I'm going to give this an extra 1/10 of a syllable because there's a double R in the middle. No one second guess me. I have a well-established system of how to determine how many syllables a word has. And I will slowly reveal it to everyone over the course of the next couple weeks as we follow some of the other US team events.
I mean, at this point, we're going to move to, Georgia, where Bath has 3 syllables, but Shah has only 1.
So check out what just happened in the green room, where Debbie and Michael on this hand made 4 hearts, and East West never took a call.
Yeah, what happened auction-wise in the other room?
Debbie opened a 3rd seat 1 heart. It went 2 clubs by Yoko, and Michael bid 4 hearts, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, it looks reasonable to me. Although...
I don't think it was called.
Yeah, isn't a club lead just like down 1 immediately?
Yeah,
oh no, it's not.
Not if you guess the diamond, right? With South having the 4th diamond.
Yeah, exactly.
Just when Ace of Hearts, diamonds pitching a club.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
That's exactly what happened.
Okay. Well done.
That is exactly what happened. Club to the ace, heart to the ace, ace of diamonds at the first 3 tricks. And then a diamond to the queen and king, and the jack of diamonds.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that East or West didn't bid. I mean, I would prefer to open the West hand 3rd seat with the 10 count and good 5-card heart suit, 1 heart. But East also could have overcalled a heart over a club. It's not that crazy. I mean, I know he has 5 small, but sometimes you just have to get into the auction.
Yeah, I'm sure from East's point of view, he was thinking that one's partner couldn't open in 3rd seat, where, what's the point of bidding on 8, 7, 5th?
Yeah. Well, the inactions of East-West at that table did cost them a game swing. So a few more to Rosenthal, and Rosenthal is still catching up. They have lost quite a few in the set at the start. Oh, they've lost more than quite a few. They are way behind.
Right.
Yeah, so this could be
but of course.
Yeah, this could be the first segment that Dinkin ends up winning.
I mean, you say that we did see a 22 swing in the last segment.
True. I could learn new words to improve my content. That sounds like work. Yeah, I don't think that's ever happening. But thank you for the suggestion. Pass, and Billy Cohen opens a heart in 4th seat.
I think if I were going to act, I would open 2 hearts.
I agree.
Even with, I mean, maybe just give up on it with no aces, but that feels like a big position too.
Yeah, Dinkin tends to give back after 10 boards in the segment. They tire out around that stage, and so just lose the ability to collect imps anymore. But we're getting close to the end of the set. Oh, we have an exciting board happening in the blue room. Let's take a look at that. I agree with you. I think with Billy's hand, I would open 2 hearts in 4th. So West opens a club, East bids a heart. West bids 2 clubs, East bids 3 diamonds, 5-5 game force. West bids 4 diamonds, showing a fit. 4 no, key card and diamonds, 5 spades, 2 with the queen. Michael says, I think I can take all of the tricks, and I think he is correct.
I think he can too.
The clubs are going to come home. I wonder if he'll find an alternative to just trying to rough out the club suit and play for 3-2 diamonds.
I think you can play to rough 2 hearts and pitch one of the king of clubs.
You can. I'm wondering if that's going to be better than roughing 2 clubs.
I think on a hand like this, whatever Michael Rosenberg does is the right thing to do.
Probably true.
These kinds of technical plays are where he really excels.
Yeah. Michael, a very sound technical player, and so he will come up with what he believes is the percentage contract. He tends to be right about that kind of stuff. And with no real inference from the opponent's auction or the opponent's bidding, this does tend to be, as you said, a hand where taking the technical play should be the right thing to do in general.
Yeah, so a little surprising, and this may make Michael a bit suspicious that South has not let a trump as kind of conventional wisdom against a grand.
Yeah, and has also let a spade, which his partner had the ability to double 5 spades if she really wanted a spade lead in the north. So the spade lead is going to be very suspicious.
Yeah, I predict he's going to take quite a while before committing himself to anything on this hand.
Agree. I'm going to spend a minute thinking about it as well, because if there was a way to test the clubs to see if they were 3-3, I would definitely choose that plan. I'm trying to find one.
It's interesting. If it goes ace of clubs, club rough, Roth should probably drop the queen.
Yeah. I don't think it realistically would affect anything. I mean, maybe if Michael really believed North's club count for whatever reason, then...
Maybe then it doesn't matter, because he can just draw trumps and claim at that point.
Yeah.
5, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that would just be 13 tricks, so that's not going to help North-South at all. I take it back.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was my point. Like, if he can make 5 club tricks, he just has 13. 3 major suit tricks and 5 in each minor. So if clubs are 3-3, and we can figure that out before committing ourselves to any alternative line, we should do it. But I don't really see a way to do it. Hmm.
So, in the other room, they did not have that 3 diamond available. So he's just had to be a natural 2 diamonds, which probably is somewhat suspect.
Yeah. Okay, Michael's played to trick 1. So what does the line of play of roughing 2 hearts look like?
So I think heart to the ace, probably play the queen of diamonds fairly early.
Well, I don't want to go down when hearts are 5-2. Like if South is roughing the 3rd round of hearts.
Right.
So I don't think we play the queen of diamonds. Like we might play a diamond to the ace, but I think he's going to go down if he plays a diamond to the ace, right? So
well, he can't afford to rough a heart with the queen of diamonds. Let's go down.
Right, yeah, which is why I was wondering if the plan to rough 2 clubs and just play for 3-2 diamonds is good, because it's basically on 3-2 trumps. And if we aren't finding a plan of roughing out the heart suit that is better than playing for 3-2 trumps,
I think he might go down here. He might be planning to rough a heart low, cross, rough a heart high to unblock the trumps and come back.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like that's where this is going, doesn't it?
Well, okay, yes, but I don't see his alternative plan, and it feels to me like this line just has to be worse than playing on clubs, because he's going to need the trumps to split 3-2. I guess he picks up stiff 10, right?
Well, he picks up stiff 10, but 3-2 diamonds is more likely than 3-3 clubs.
No, but I'm making on 4-2 clubs.
No, you're not, because you can't cash the clubs, because what's your entry? Oh, the heart ace would be the entry.
The heart ace.
Yeah. Right, and obviously now that's not going to... So meanwhile, in the other room, they've gotten all the way to 3-no trump.
Oh, sorry, not the heart ace, the diamond queen, right? Like it's club to the ace.
But then you need diamonds to be 3-2 anyway.
Right, but I don't think that he's making on just 3-2 diamonds. I think he also needs the hearts to break. Oh, no. You're right. He can pitch on the ace.
Here he's making just on straight 3-2 diamonds, just, right, heart rough high, diamond back to your hand, draw trumps, and eventually play a club to the ace king.
Yeah. Okay. So queen of diamonds, he's going to be a little upset that the suit is breaking so poorly for his side. Yeah. But this will be a juicy swing to Team Dinkin.
10 in him, since they did not bid a slam.
Yeah. Oh my god, they really didn't bid a slam.
West, yeah, I said they got all the way up to 3-no trump.
They got bidding slam, no.
Yeah, West elected to just show a single-suited club hand, which the issue is that she's already showed the single-suited club hand by the point she bid 2 clubs. So 3 clubs.
Well, I think the problem was that if 2 diamonds was East's only force, West doesn't really, bidding 3 diamonds is impossible. Like, he didn't really have any good action at that point, besides bidding 3 clubs, and East, maybe a little lazily, didn't show his 5-5. He just bid 3-no trump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got it. Okay, well, sometimes you do the right thing in the auction and then Trump split 4-1 against you. So, not a great result for Michael.
Yeah.
And Dinkin definitely going to be winning this quarter. Barry Crane's rule, don't bid grands if the rest of the field are only bidding games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is a good rule.
It really is. Doesn't earn you a lot of match points or a lot of
it really has a match point rule where, every table matters instead of just one other table.
Yep. So both tables are caught up now. 1 heart in the south. 3rd seat opening bid. Both Norths responding with spade.
Take a moment to notice that if Ron had led a diamond, which I don't think anyone would from 10-4, they would have made it.
I don't think that's true, because he...
Now you can rough a heart with the queen, but South doesn't have this trump trick anymore.
Yeah, but he needed the diamond communication to get back to his own hand.
I don't think so, because now he would have had the extra spade that was knocked out of trick 1.
Oh, he would have the extra spade. Yes, you're right. Yep. Oh my. Well, something happened in the blue room. Okay, so a heart, a spade, a 2-diamond balance, and North doubled, which
is not take out whatever North thinks it was.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks like, I mean, it seems pretty clear that North obviously thought this was takeout. South believed this was penalty, and so here we are, and 2 diamonds doubled.
Yeah, I mean, this, I think, despite the level of the auction, I believe absolutely has to be a penalty double.
Yeah, now it's worth noting in both rooms, I think North missed an inference from the auction where partner opened a heart, you bid a spade, partner passed. This shows 3-card support. So North with 5 good spades and short diamonds should just be competing to 2 spades. And both Norths appear to have missed this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that fact is why this double should be penalties in the blue room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is very possible that Andrew did know that, but just decided that opposite a 3-2-1 heart opening with all these little clubs, he just wanted to go conservative, but with a stiff diamond, I certainly would have wanted to bid.
Yeah, I mean, stiff diamond, and not just that, he's 5-5 in the black suits. He does have Queen Doubleton of Hearts, which is probably a good value. Yeah. So now I say this, and yet I played a speedball with Aaron Jones a while back, and I opened, and he opened a heart, and I bid a spade, and he passed me with a small Doubleton. So, not everyone shares the view that you need to have a reasonable fit to pass your partner's 1-level response.
Yeah, I think you just play your partner for 3 of them, and if he did something weird, he can apologize later.
Yep.
So 2 diamonds is...
And 2 diamonds is going to make...
Right?
It looks like, yeah, Declare has this heart guess, so in the blue room, Ron does correctly guess that the 1 heart opener has the ace, hops up with the king. He can now pull trumps.
Michael guessed it, you mean? Or Debbie guessed it, rather?
Oh, Debbie. Yes. Debbie is the one playing. So yeah, Debbie can just pull trumps ending in her hand, repeat the club finesse that she already saw work, and end up with
1 heart at the end.
No hearts, right? Oh yeah, just 1 heart. 1 heart. Yep. She does get to rough the last heart in the dummy.
Yeah.
So 2 diamonds making 90 in the green room, and here we're going to see 2 diamonds making an over trick. So this is going to be 380.
380.
7 imps to Rosenthal. Okay, quick score tally. So, 67 to 30. So Dinkin does pick up a little bit in the set. 37 imps is the first segment they've won so far. We will have one more, but still 148 imps ahead for Rosenthal. They're going to be pretty comfortable, just cruising on to victory. We won't crown them the champions yet, just in case. There's still the ability to score, what's 24 times 15? 360 in the final set. Although that number is going to diminish with every board they play, that they don't get the maximum.
Right. Well, and to be fair, this set, if Dinkin had played well at both tables, they could easily have picked up 100 imps. There are a lot of swings here.
Is that true? Is that true?
I would say sort of, though, because one of the reasons that they picked up as many as they did is that they were taking a lot of deliberately swingy actions. So, like, the more you sit in your chair, like, the less you win those, but, you know. Yeah, I think so. Actually, let's go back through this. So, let's see. So the first board...
I guess we basically only need to look at the hands where they did not win 10.
Right.
Because on the hands they won 10, I would say that they probably did about the best they could. So the 3 no trump doubled on board 33, I recall that. That was just fairly flat, I believe. They could have avoided losing 3, but that would have been about it. Board 32, both tables were going down in 2 no trump. One of them, made a different opening lead, which cost a trick. Board 35, the 3 spades. I don't exactly remember this 3-spade contract. Oh, this is the one where Andrew Rosenthal kind of was in 3 spades and failed to make it.
Yeah, and Yoko made that kind of weird double with a flat 16 count and ended up trapped into getting to 4 spades.
Right, in an unmakeable 4-spade contract. Board 37. This one could have been a bit of a larger pickup if they had, in the east-west room, found their spade fit. So I suppose you could argue from some stance that, yes, they should have picked up more here, but they didn't, and that was entirely their own fault. West elected to treat her hand as just a single-suited heart hand, as opposed to showing both suits. But they still picked up 5.
So that's the kind of thing, right? If they'd been making optimal actions, where optimal is hindsight of both tables.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that Andrew Rosenthal did much better on 35 in the auction, but ended up going down. I don't know if your argument is technically they could have picked up a large number of imps, if all the stars aligned.
I guess my argument is the boards were swingy enough, and there was enough variance in action between the 2 tables.
Yeah, kind of looking at it, I mean, there's this board 38 where both tables, bid pretty badly to not put themselves in this keycard position to bid a grand.
Yep.
Was
that's another 13 or whatever it is, sure.
Mm-hmm. It's 11.
This board 42, I think West again made a somewhat reasonable but disastrous choice in practice not to open in 3rd seat.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that did cost them 13 because Debbie not only opened, but then found an excellent line of play to make her game after in kind of a hopeless position, right? You're looking at this and saying they've set up a club trick. If I just pull trumps, they're going to be able to cash a club and 2 spades. So the only thing that I can do is hope that I can collect 4 diamond tricks. Well, what do I need for that? I need Queen Doubleton. And so she pulled around to trumps, ace of diamonds.
Queen third outside would have been good enough.
You're right. Sorry. As long as I can cash 3 diamonds and then pitch the club on the 4th diamond.
Right.
Yeah.
As long as the 3rd diamond survives and we still have a diamond winner.
Yep. Yeah. So... But okay, hold on. Let's pause for a second because on 42, how convinced are we that West, the way that everything had been going, would have found this line of play? I'm not very convinced.
It sort of fall into it though.
Well, you might say that, but then there were some other very suspect things that happened from that seat. So I'm not convinced that I'm allowed to suggest that that the players on the team are going to do all of the right things on hands. Some players are just going to make mistakes at certain points in the segment. Mm-hmm. There are swingy boards. You're right about that. There are a lot of imps that are available on these hands, and I suppose my opinion on it is that you can't always do the right thing on hands that are swingy. So you're going to get some decisions right, and you're going to get some decisions wrong, and the better teams tend to get the decisions right more often. In this case, Dinkin got the better of the set.
I mean, your argument has the benefit of being backed up by actual data and results.
Yeah.
But if you give the Dinkin team, they also bid 4 hearts on 42, and they bid a grand on 38. That's already 25 imps they've, swung back. Anyway, I'm not sure this is an argument really I'm worried about having.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, theoretically possible. I guess my contention would be no, it is not theoretically possible for them to pick up 100, because for me, theoretically possible means like humans have to still take actions on the boards, but in a like computer simulated world where we get to run the same experiment 5 million times, one of those times Dinkin will win 100, I think. I will give you that.
I think 5 million's an overbid, but sure.
Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. So that was the set. We have one more segment to play, and let's see how long we have until that starts up. There should be a so round clock. We have 8 minutes. Oh, I shouldn't have finished my my Zenith, but I did. I accidentally played it during or at the end of the previous stream, right before I got dinner. So I guess everyone is familiar with all of the horrible things that happened there.
Yeah, I actually played the Zenith while we were on break, and thought I did a little better. I actually had like a 52 and change.
That's not where you want to end up. It's like, I think high 53 gets your money back. So if you're...
Yeah, I had what I thought were a bunch of plus positions and turned out to be dead averages.
That can happen with the robot events. You know, you think that the robots have given you a trick on defense, but they're giving everyone the same trick on defense.
Yeah, yeah, there's definitely a couple like that.
I made a mistake in my open 1-no on every hand. Well, other than the second board where I just completely forgot, but I had opened a no trump with a 5 count, and partner, did something, and key carded, and I had an ace, and I should have showed 0, but I showed 1. I just figured it didn't matter, so I was like going for the maximum possible, but I actually took 11 tricks.
Oh, wow.
So partner put me in slam, and I took 11 tricks for 0. Whoopsies.
So you turned an average to a 0.
Yeah, I suspect it was average. I mean, maybe it was above average. I don't remember. But yes. Well, 6 minutes on the round clock, but maybe we will get that sped up a little bit as the players trickle back in for the 8th segment of play. I want to look at the 7 diamond hand. Hold on, let me open this in just one room. Yeah, I can leave my camera there.
All right, I need to mute my mic for just 1 minute.
Sure. So Michael gets to 7 diamonds, no opposition bidding. Craig made a good point that there was no trump lead, although I would tend not to read too much into that. Like if I knew South was leading from Queen Third of Spades, maybe that would convince me in one way or another. But as far as we know from Declarer's perspective, when it goes 7-9 Jack, South has just led from 10-3, and North has Queen Jack 5th. So spade to the ace. Obviously, if Declarer diagnoses the good club break, they can just go club to the ace, club ruff, pull 4 rounds of trumps, heart to the ace, run the club, spade to the king, cash the king of hearts. And that will be 13 tricks. But so Michael's line was heart to the ace, spade to the king. Ooh. Wait a second. I didn't even notice this happen. Maybe this is why Michael gave some pause at this point in play. So now Michael knows that South has led a spade away from Queen 10 third, specifically. Which is going to look very strange to him. So he roughs a heart. Roughs a spade. And now he has a decision to make, right? He could just pull trumps, right? And it's possible that someone such as North, who might have the fourth heart, as well as the club queen, could get squeezed. Or he could just try a club finesse if he felt like that was his best bet. That would be the way to make the contract from here. When he led a heart and roughed in the dummy, he kind of isolated himself from being able to pull trumps. He couldn't rough this heart with the 7, because then even if diamonds were 4-1, he wouldn't be able to cash the queen and get back to his hand. So this is why he roughed with the queen, also protecting a little bit against a possible 4-2 heart split if North was void, and then played diamonds. But he definitely still was in a position to make his contract from here. A priori, it probably makes sense to do what he did. I mean, he doesn't even need the hearts to split. He can just rough a diamond, and as long as the suit is splitting, he can claim. But I would be very worried after that Queen of Spades play from South. Like, we go back to... How do I go back to the start of the hand? Here we go. Like, imagine South had this same hand with 3 small diamonds. What would he lead? He would absolutely just lead a trump. That is the most passive opening lead. A spade away from the queen might run into, for example, Declare's ace-jack doubleton, and that could give Declare an extra trick, which might be just enough to make the contract, whereas a trump is 100% going to be passive. So the fact that South didn't lead a trump might give Declare a pause for concern to thinking that the trump suit is not breaking well. And so then when we step forward a few tricks, you know, he finds out here at this point that Ron has led a spade from Queen 10, right? We recall trick 1, Declare played the 9 from dummy, got the jack from North. So this denies the 10, usually. And so now he's aware of this very, very unusual spade lead from South. He roughs a spade, and he has a decision to make. Again, a priori, I'm sure Michael did the right thing. It's hard to argue with just playing for 3-2 trumps here. And you definitely don't really want to be in a position where you might go down if the trumps are splitting. But if you make the read, which I think is reasonable, that trumps are not splitting based on this opening spade lead, then, well, your best bet is not to rough a heart anymore. It's going to be to just pull trumps and hope that something good happens in the end game, which maybe it would. North is technically going to get squeezed. She'll be able to follow to 1 trump, but then on the 4th round of trumps, she'll have to pitch 2 spades and therefore a club. Otherwise, Declare's hearts become good. So Michael will be in a position to... to guess who has the club queen. I don't know. It's interesting. Anyway. We are into the 8th segment, and what I wanted to do was, I think I was going to do a single-player perspective for segment 8. We'll have to see who's going to be sitting in. I know we haven't watched Chris. That might be fun, although only
I got a feeling he's on Delta is being made to play, so that actually sounds very fun.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's actually a fair point. We can try and guess what ridiculous things Chris is going to do. That'll be exciting. So if he's in, then we'll probably
guess he
follow him.
will be. I'd be very surprised if Andrew is going to play another set, even with basically a claim on the match at this point.
Yeah.
And also, Chris and Amber probably won't have a ton of chances to play over the next few months between now and the event, so it's a good chance for them just to get an extra 15 boards in.
Right.
Like Andrew and Megri, I think, have played some over the years. Chris and Amber, I think, basically not at all before this event.
I feel like I remember Megri playing with Andrew Rosenthal in the past.
Yeah, they played some here and there.
Okay.
So we have the New York GNT this weekend. I don't know if they're going to be playing again in that. So I think Chris will certainly be on some Andrew Rosenthal, Aaron Silverstein team, but the exact composition I'm not sure of.
Got it. And who's Chris playing with? I guess Silverstein?
They might play 5. Let's see if we can... Let me see who that team was last year. Yeah, of course, the New York unit webpage is very terrible.
So where are we? 141 imps, 148 imps. Less than a game swing every board? No. It's more than a game swing because non-vulnerable game swings are only 6 imps. So we're thinking like a game and or slam swing on every hand, and the match could be close at the end. Maybe we will have a tie. Who was it that always asked about the tiebreaker rules?
So, in fact, last year, it was Andrew, Aaron, Chris, and Megri playing 4-handed, I guess?
Yeah, and so that would be Aaron playing with Chris.
No, Aaron playing with Andrew in their regular partnership, and Chris playing with Megri as they did for a couple of cycles.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right, looks like we
and Andrew and Aaron are their preferred partnership.
Okay, I can't watch this room. I'm sorry. Sorry to all the kibitzers. We're gonna have to watch.
I don't know. I mean, like, if you thought Chris was gonna be on tilt just at the state of the match and having to play, he's gonna be even on more tilt having to play against this pair.
All right. For the crowd, we can watch this room. Hey, PJ.
Give it a board or two and see what happens.
It's just gonna be awful. This is gonna be the worst experience. Oh God. Maybe East-West will just get all of the cards and North-South will never bid during the auction. Do you think that's even possible? Does their system allow them to pass?
Do you think it's possible that North-South will never have as much as an 8 count? I do not.
But even some 0 counts, they open the bidding, so,
Okay, what is more likely, that North-South will never bid, or that Dinkin will win the match? Also, are those two correlated in a positive way? Their specialty is bidding when they don't have cards.
I think now we are into the 5 million universes, and Doctor Strange finds one where this happens.
I'm supposed to hang out with Chris on Sunday night socially, and I very much look forward to hearing his recap of this tournament, and particularly this match.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, he's just going to be complaining about segment 8, right? He was out segment 7.
Right. Well, but the entire thing.
Yeah. All right.
And then I think the Rosenthal team is actually headed to the Europeans in like a week.
Rosenthal team, the European Team Championships?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, I think those start right after Memorial Day.
Aha.
So a lot of bridge on the calendar for that group.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine it's the first chance to play in their new cycle configuration.
Wait, so who is it? Yeah, who's Chris playing with now?
Chris is going to be playing with Geir Helgemo.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think it's a nice departure for him because he and Jansma and Ian Rosenberg and all these people had a ton of system. And with Helgemo, it's just like, you got 5 conventions, everything is natural, and you just put down the dummy and watch him take a lot of tricks.
Yep.
Like, he was telling me that Bailey and Helgemo have very little system. Helgemo just kind of wants to play everything as natural and, and figure as the best card player in the room. They'll make it up that way.
Yeah, so is Michael also playing in the seniors trial? I don't think he can now that he's qualified for the mixed. Well, knock on wood.
Yeah. Yeah, they all run concurrently, right?
Yeah. So, like, at the Bermuda Bowl, they all go at the same time.
Yeah, and there was kind of a mini scandal a few years ago where I think, didn't someone enter one of those events knowing that they weren't going to be able to play, so, like, they were going to be replaced by a weaker pair because they were actually in one of the other events, so I think now there's some restrictions on that kind of thing.
Oh, I have no idea. That sounds like something that bridge players would do.
Yeah, like I think maybe someone hired someone for the mixed who was also on a team for the either open or seniors, and knowing that if they won both, they were going to have to choose which one to play in.
So it looks like we have confirmation that Michael Rosenberg is the culprit. He won the mix and then also won the seniors and ditched Debbie.
And he is not listed on a senior team this year.
Okay.
No, this was a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I think Ewan was pointing out that he's not playing the seniors, so.
Well, I think, though, if they lose this, I'm sure he could put a team together and enter, right? Or is it too late? Is the deadline already closed?
Oh.
The deadline might have closed, actually.
Yeah, actually, that's an interesting question.
Could Billy Cohen now enter the seniors and Ron Smith,
Rumor is there's going to be some Larry Cohen action this week. Oh.
Yeah, I think Larry and David are actually back in action playing together.
Oh my God, playing the seniors?
Yeah, I think someone told me that. Take a look at the old USBF site. Let's see, 2023 USBCs.
Well, that's exciting.
Teams entered in the seniors.
They are both on the Wolfson team, that's correct.
Right.
So
that's a very good team.
Yeah, so because Mech is committed to playing with Zia in the Open, Papa Bert does not have a partner for the seniors, and he's still probably like one of the top players for that event. So he gets to choose his partner, and he has chosen Larry. All right, we are into the action.
Wow, David and Larry, Becker and Bobby Levin, and Garner and Wolfson. That is an awfully good senior team.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, so in fact, Paul and Linda Lewis are in the seniors, so, and they just lost yesterday or the day before, so presumably you are allowed to enter late if you were in one of the other things and failed to qualify.
Mm-hmm. That sounds right. Thank you, Ewan. Thanks for joining us. Have a good dinner. See you later.
All right, nice to get to hang out with you.
Well,
all right. Meanwhile, this is like entirely too normal, but I guess it's only the first board.
Chris is bidding with no points. Yeah, get him out of here. No, but he also is a passed hand. So I think this is...
He's a passed hand, and you just have to bid 2 hearts on a hand like this. Like, the odds that you have a game when partner is any kind of a fit are so high.
Right.
I mean, the second bid, also, maybe a little aggressive, but you are 5-5, and your partner does have ace, jack, 9, 4 at your trump suit.
Nice justification. Yep. Wow, Amber has a huge hand. Don't we bump? Like, we have to bump 3 diamonds to 4. I mean, imagine Chris had the same hand with the heart ace instead of the heart queen jack.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Well, no harm here. Declare seems to be able to, I think, comfortably just start roughing hearts in the dummy.
Yeah, maybe you might have cashed the ace king of clubs first, but I think the fact that South didn't pitch one probably indicates that she has a lot of club lines, so the ace king of clubs aren't really in danger of getting roughed away.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay.
I think that this actually seems like a pretty sensible play.
I think this...
Like, the only way...
I was going to say, I think this... Well, apparently not.
Yeah, I think Sam's rough play is actually kind of reasonable there.
Is it?
So it was right that West at the glove length. He was obviously just trying to. Yeah, I mean, Sam knows, looking at that dummy, that he has no extra tricks anywhere. The only possibility is if he can weaken Declare's trump holdings. Like, I think from North's point of view, Sam Dinkin, the whole thing is just totally hopeless. So.
Yeah, that's probably true. Move my face? Why? What's wrong with my face? Where's my face supposed to... Oh my god, my face is supposed to go over here. You're right. I got you.
Go full screen Wizard of Oz style over there.
Jesus. Okay, face moved. What was I covering up, though? Well, hopefully now I'm not covering anything up.
So this looks like it's going to be a fairly normal 3-no trump.
Please move your face. What are you, Canadian now? No one says please nowadays. Just yell commands at me. Sometimes I will follow.
Move your face, eh?
Yeah. Alright, 2 clubs. We bid 2 diamonds, partner bids 2 no trump, and with our 6 count. How many tricks taken? Okay, I see this stuff in the bottom right. That is very worthwhile. So it looks like a pretty normal auction. We will see Amber's hand once she and Olivia play to trick 1. I am hopeful that that happens quickly.
Yeah, I think plus 140 games, even Amber might speedball this set a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Chris, Willenken, POV. Boom. There. Title updated. So we get a hard opening lead. I mean, this could be a hand where Declare has some problems, and so she might want to think at trick 1. It would be nice if we also thought at trick 1 rather than at trick 2. But I'm hoping that she will play a card quickly.
Yeah. This actually might be a comment to send in to the Love Bridge people. That when you're in single-player kibitzing mode, to see both hands after the opening lead.
Yeah. But we will not have any more Love Bridge kibitzing for a very long time. Oh no, that's not true. We have the seniors and the women's coming up. I forgot. That's like literally starting tomorrow. Ooh. Well, we were fortunate as declarer that the opponents did not find a spade opening lead, because that would have put us in a very precarious position.
Yeah, so let's see. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, it's.
I just had a senior moment. You're right. Nice pun, by the way. Well, with the club finesse working, I think declare should have taken the club finesse, right? It's your best source of tricks. Like, if you set up diamonds, you're just going to need the clubs to come home anyway. So may as well take the percentage play in that suit. And now Amber will be...
you can force an entry to dummy in clubs, but of course, when the defense wins the ace of diamonds, they're going to put a spade on the table.
Yeah. So now we get to knock out the diamond ace. If hearts split, we might have a chance to take some extra tricks.
I think now that... So this seems odd. I feel like now that the diamond held, don't we want to switch to the spade?
It probably doesn't matter. I think this is fine.
It's fine. I don't know why she's not playing a spade now.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. I was going to say not going to matter if we lead a low spade out of hand. East is at the bottom of the screen and your mine is broken. I'm sorry. I couldn't force Chris to sit south. He is elected to sit east this set. So it looks like Declare did take her 10 tricks. Ooh. We got a good hand this time.
Opening.
It would be nice if we got to open the bidding. I have a suspicion that we won't be able to. Oh, we get to open. This is great. Let's open 2 clubs.
Let's see if South treats this as a hard hand or a no trump hand, opposite a past partner.
Yeah, South aka East. So.
Oh, sorry, East. Yeah.
I was curious about that. Actually, the hand that Brad Moss elected to open a no trump with his 6-card heart suit when we were kibitzing Joe Grew perspective for the open trials, I had quite a comment from one of my YouTube viewers about that hand, how he believed. So we had the auction, Brad opened a no trump, and then with no bids from his partner, rebid 3 hearts next. And I kind of made the suggestion that this is like a 6-card heart suit, as if Brad had opened a heart and rebid 3 hearts. And the comment was like, well, I can't imagine how this could be anything other than like a psych where he intended to preempt 3 hearts and just decided to open a no trump. And anyway, but it looks like Chris is elected to show his hand as...
I think it depends on the player. Certainly Brad and Joe are a partnership that when they open a no trump, it just means absolutely nothing. So, I think that your explanation of 3 hearts there is probably correct. Some players, the psych explanation is definitely more likely.
I still can't tell if Chris showed hearts or no trump.
He didn't alert 2 hearts, so I think... And actually, an Amber bid 3 diamonds, so this was not a Kokish auction. He just showed hearts.
Right. Yeah, okay. So Chris has showed hearts and is now playing in 3-0. Yeah, you're right, V8. The board number is rotated in the bottom left.
Yeah, we were in fact looking at a physical board from East's point of view, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the hearts have split.
A good heart split, so...
Well, that was easy. That hand was over in about 5 seconds. The diamonds came home, the hearts split. Yep. Didn't even need the club finesse, which was onside. Alright, now we probably won't have the luxury of opening the bidding. Yeah, no Kokish since partner didn't bid 2 spades. Although I wouldn't put it past her to break the Kokish sequence, but probably not with that hand that she held. So 1 club on her right, 10 to 14, and just artificial. Chris's pass came out before the 1 club bid was on the table.
Yeah, you need an awfully good reason to overrule a Kokish auction, and certainly that north hand was not it.
Yeah. So club and no trump. In this auction, I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if partner took a call. Our hand is so weak, and the opponents could have very few high card points. So yeah, our partner does double, and we have to decide what we're going to do if North had passed. But now that North has bid, we're kind of off the hook, and Chris seems to have taken that position that even though he's probably pretty confident that they have a major suit fit somewhere, maybe even 2 of them, he can just let his partner let him know, you know, hey, I actually do have a real takeout double, I have extras, please bid and show me your suit. He doesn't want to like bid 2 of a major and get raised, and then he's going to be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, the danger is that when partner does have the good hand, she's just going to go a little too crazy if he acts in front of her here.
Yep.
Now she raises. Obviously, she'll have a great hand, and she'll probably just pass.
I'm interested in whether or not 2 spades or 2 hearts here would be the better choice. Because
like 2 spades, your suit's better. The opponent's if you need to make another call, like if partner Q bids here, you can bid hearts that shows 4-4. Wow.
Yeah, I was wondering if
Amber gave her a lot of room.
Yeah, so like I was just wondering what North does with 3-4 in the majors, right? Because it might feel fairly natural for our partner with 3-4 to double, expecting us to bid up the line or bypass hearts if we had a 4-card spade suit, and so then we would always get to our 8-card fit if we had one.
I think opposite takeout double bidding. What Chris did is normal, like not bidding on up the line.
Yeah, sure.
Like this obviously is a little scarier if you're doing it at the 2 level instead of at the 1 level as you normally would, but I mean here in Amber gave him quite a lot of room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is absolutely a hand where had we bid 2 spades on the previous round, which I think was the alternative to passing. Why is Chris pulling so many rounds of trumps?
Yeah. He's playing so fast. He's playing so fast, he might have missed that, sort of forgotten the implications of South roughing there. I don't know.
Yeah, this is very strange and suspicious because now, I mean, he's not going. Wait, he's going down. Oh no, he's not going down. He's not going down, but okay, 9 tricks. Yeah. I mean, that was very weird.
It was very weird. The Ace of Clubs fortunately was offside, so nothing mattered, but definitely, I think at this point he's just speedballing, and I mean, keep in mind, he can lose 6 imps aboard and still win the match by 100.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So, I think
maybe
that's
not
probably
6
true.
imps aboard, but yeah. I think he's just speedballing, and, once he got to 8 tricks, just stopped counting.
Yep. Okay. So we pass in first seat. South opens a spade. Our partner makes a Michael's Cupid, 2 spades, showing hearts and a minor. We can be pretty confident that's clubs, but I suspect we will still check.
I think we'll get 3 clubs past our correct week.
Yeah, depending on our agreements. Okay, there it is. 3 clubs. Bad hand, no heart fit. And our partner's thinking about it. It seems likely, in a sense, that our partner has a pretty good hand over there. North might have a spade fit. Didn't do anything over 2 spades. Okay, here it is. 3 spades from our partner. So what do we want to do with our cards?
I mean, 4 hearts, I guess, is a little tempting.
I was going to ask about 3-no until this double came.
I think Chris is just going to continue to show weakness and let his partner do whatever she does.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. So 4 clubs, like, obviously, we just have a bad hand. Partner's the one who needs to make all the decisions on this one. Oh my god, 4 spades.
4 spades cannot possibly be a good bid. I'm just going to say that right now. There's no hand where 4 spades is the right call in this auction.
Really?
I mean, I guess you could have a spade void and solid clubs and solid hearts, but then why not just bid a slam?
Well, what if she needs a diamond control? So what if she is void, ace, king, queen, 5th, doubleton,
6 solid?
That's possible. I mean, yes, but, like, I think we might also be down 1. Like, she could have ace, king, 6th, right? Just hoping that either we have 3 clubs and the suit comes home, or that we have the queen doubleton.
Yeah, but South could have passed over the double to show a little something. So...
Okay, hold on.
I don't know. All right.
Our partner opposite nothing. I mean, I'm certain we're passing as Chris, but our partner opposite nothing has forced us to slam. That hand feels horribly unreasonable.
All right, well, I stand by my statement that there is no way the 4 spades was a good bid.
Whew. See, okay, look. I wanted to bid 5 diamonds over 4 spades. I mean, I'm a little concerned that clubs have been confirmed as trumps. But it felt to me like 5 diamonds might have just been a better contract. And technically I'm right, but maybe I'm not going to earn any umps for being right. South just dumped the queen of hearts from queen doubleton, giving us a hand entry? What was that about?
Well, maybe she's about... I mean, maybe she's about to overruff a heart here.
Yeah, but what what was she doing?
Yeah. All right, well, I think we were about to see some major tilt action from East here.
It's already happened. I mean,
well, he was the straight man on this hand, though, but I think he's about to be on absolute tilt after seeing the way his partner bid this hand.
Wow, the club's split. I mean, he makes this if he just goes ace of clubs, queen of clubs. I don't fault him for his line of play, but that's kind of crazy. Now Amber's going to be like, ha, post-mortem, you should have made this. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right, 2 spade opening from South. This is spades and a minor, 4 spades and at least 5 of a minor, but at least 10 cards between the 2 suits, or at least that was the alert in a previous set.
I stopped listening quite a while ago.
Yeah. So 2 spades, pass. Chris elects to pass. I mean, he is in the balancing seat, but queen third of spades doesn't look like a good holding.
Yeah, I think a natural 2-0 trump is his only real option, and that obviously is not super attractive on this hand.
Yeah, well, that's certainly undervalue. And he doesn't really want to bid 3 hearts on just a 5-card heart suit. Could get him into a lot of trouble.
I think three hearts would be crazy. I think if you do anything, it has to be a natural 2-0 trump. Hey, you're going to pass out to see partner knows it could be a little bit shaded. Like, I think his action is normal, but I think 2-0 trump is the only possible offensive action there.
Sure, that makes sense. Well, partner leads the ace of hearts. Dummy comes down with a singleton, so we're giving suit preference here. 3 of hearts asks partner switch to clubs, which she obliges with.
Yeah.
And that 10 of clubs makes it sound as if South's side suit is clubs, right?
Yeah, I think almost certainly that's 10 double 10 and declares 5-4 in spades and clubs, right? 2 spades showed at least 5 and at least 4 for side suit, is that correct?
I think it could be 4 spades and a longer minor. No. You're right. You're right. It's at least 5 and at least 4. And 10 cards between the 2 suits.
It's a little interesting that he shifted to the Queen of Spades.
Well, I was
starting the Jack, but
yeah, I was going to suggest switching to the Queen of Spades. I think that's the right card to switch to with this 10 doubleton. So, well, now we're a little sad. We missed our 11 card heart fit. Looks like...
Yeah, so Olivia had a super maximum here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, 2 spades making 3. Kind of a system win for the Dinkin squad there. But we're on to board 52. Board 60 is the end of play. So we're zooming on along. Partner opens a no trump. 15 to 17, I think. Yep. Chris just electing to game force this hand. I mean, I imagine that's what I have to believe when he bids 2 clubs.
Yeah, I think it's possible that he might find some reason to invite, but I think you just hope the clubs come in and bid a game.
Yep.
Yeah, particularly knowing that your counterparts in the other room could really use a game swing at this state of the match, so it's, when you go down, you're probably just getting a push.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, decision-wise, I could kind of tell that Chris was going to game force when he bid 2 clubs, because if he wanted to invite, he would surely go through like one of these 2 spade gadgets that a lot of the players have to ask if partner was minimum or maximum.
Not necessarily, not necessarily, because you do want to find out if you have a heart fit when your hand is distributional and on the weaker side in high cards.
Right, but if you have a heart fit, then you'll play in game, but you can no longer play in 3 clubs anymore. And I don't think he plans on playing 2 no trump with 6-4.
No, that's probably true, but...
Alright, so diamond to the ace, or diamond to the king, ace of diamonds. This has set up declares diamond suit, which has to be good news for her. She's going to get 3 diamonds, she's going to get 2 hearts. Pitching a heart felt a little strange, because that was a natural trick. We just stuck in the 5 of diamonds. I'm sorry, did I miss something in the spot cards that...
Quite possibly, because I'm not entirely sure what happened here either.
I know Chris had the stiff jack at trick 1, but anyway, looks like Declara is well on her way to making 3 no trump, I suspect. Oh, well, certainly if the club suit goes like this. They're playing rather quickly. I want to see what happened to the diamonds. Why did we stick in the 5?
Yeah, so do I.
Oh, the 5 was just high. Sam led the 9 of diamonds and then played the 8 on the next round. Okay. That makes sense. So we get a 10 count now. Second seat favorable. Sam opens a heart in front of us. Could be anything, not even necessarily a real heart suit. We pass.
Yeah, I do not think a takeout double would be very wise in this hand.
Yep. South bids a spade. I think this is, like, most of their next steps are like artificial forces. Incorrect. 1 spade is not artificial and not forcing. So wrong on both counts.
Huh. Yes, they must have to bid 2 of something to force, because I believe we saw that 1 no trump was also natural and non-forcing.
Oh yeah, good question. Maybe 2 clubs is just their catch-all.
Yeah.
So a heart of spade, 2 spades could be canapé, which means that North's hand, which we will see soon enough, might have longer spades than hearts. It does not. Partner hits on the king of clubs lead, and I think that's going to be bad news for our side, because that means we just have so many wasted values in a suit that is going to take very few tricks.
Yeah, I think unless this jack of clubs is cashing, we're not going to have a ton of defense here.
Right. So declare ruffs, leads the 10 of spades.
A little suspicious looking.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like, because declare wouldn't do this from king, queen, 10 remaining, so this feels like queen, 10, 9, or maybe queen, 10, third. So it sounds as if our partner has king doubleton, and we also know from the UI tank that our partner has king doubleton.
Right.
So we can win, see if we're getting a diamond trick. We're not. Declare is going to be able to continue pulling trumps. Oh, we're not. Cashes the king of diamonds, cashes the queen of diamonds, pitching a heart. Wow. That is a very strong non-forcing 1 spade bid. I guess that means declare has everything else.
So, South and East are definitely on the same page about speedballing this.
Yeah. Yeah, I have played matches like this as well, where certain people have wanted to continue playing even in a hopeless position in the last segments. And
yeah.
I think my record has been, I finished an entire quarter of play in about like 12 minutes. I don't think we had any pass outs either.
12 minutes seems pretty quick.
It was very fast.
I have played a segment in about 45 minutes under those circumstances.
Wow. Yeah,
maybe it was like 50 minutes, but it was well ahead of midnight game pace.
Right. Yeah. No, it was against the Jacobs team.
Oh my God! By the way, look what happened here, where Chris is now playing 15 to 18 no trumps.
Oh wait! No. This is just an 18 count. What is he doing? I mean, fair enough. He's decided that like it'll go faster if he just declares all the hands, which I think he's right about.
Well, while that's true, and if they lose 10 amps here because they miss a game, it won't really matter. It seems like a pretty big position.
It's a little ridiculous.
He would also declare. Well, I guess he wouldn't necessarily declare it if he opened something Ruben 2 no trump. But.
Mm-hmm. All right, club over, heart hook, pull the last trump, test the diamond suit. If the diamonds come home, he has missed a game.
Yeah, but if they don't come home, the opponents have almost missed a game, right, with their 8-card spade fit? Or 9-card spade fit?
Well, not really. He has 2 diamonds, 2 clubs, and 2 hearts off the top on defense.
No, I was thinking if the ace of diamonds is in Olivia's hand, then they can make 2 spades, I guess.
No. Chris had the ace of diamonds. Chris had all the diamonds.
Oh, you're right. Chris had the ace of diamonds to start with.
Yeah.
He forgot that he had an 8 count for his opening no trump. 18 count.
Wait a second. They missed a game anyway. That was just for the over trick that the diamonds slid. This is going real badly. That hand went so poorly for him. Well, if it comes 3 passes to him, we know what we're opening. It's going to be a no trump, right?
Oh, I think he's just going to pass it out.
Okay, yeah, actually, maybe that is the faster bid.
They're not going to have a game, and why take the 3 minutes to play the board when you can just get on to the next one? Just take your lose 3 or 4 when the opponents make 110 or 140.
You're absolutely right. This was a good decision to watch this table. So 2 hearts in the north, 5 or more hearts, could be as many as 14 highs. Chris overcalls 2 spades. doesn't want to let Sam declare the hand, otherwise it could take an hour. Three spades by Amber. This is going to pass out. I mean, Chris probably felt pretty bad about overcalling two spades in the first place, so... So we get a heart lead. Looks like Declare is probably going down in this contract. I mean, he's going to have some pretty uncomfortable decisions to make when North goes heart-heart.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to have no uncomfortable decisions to make whatsoever. He just gets to rough and high and pull the last trump.
Yeah, like, presumably, if he has to play anyone for a 4-card diamond suit, it'll be Olivia. Sam has to be hearts and clubs.
Yep. So 10 of spades. Now we get to play a diamond to the king, I guess. Hopefully Sam will take his ace. Or we just say, I'm hoping diamonds split. And that might have been what he said. So 140. Nicely done. I mean, he was very quick about it. I think if he was more concerned about state of the match, he might have given some more thought to that spade play at trick 3 or trick 4 or whatever it was, where he just banged king, queen of spades and got a little lucky dropping Jack Doubleton. But 1-0 now by our partner, 14 to 16. Oh, we're playing different ranges and different vulnerabilities. 15 to 17 when we were red earlier. So 14 to 16, 2 clubs, 2 hearts. I would just bid 4 hearts. Thoughts on Chris passing 2 hearts?
Yeah, I think 3 hearts as the middle course seems kind of normal to me.
No, but I mean, like, for speed purposes. We could just pass out 2 hearts and be pretty happy.
If he was going to do that, he would have just passed a no trump.
Yeah, that's probably true.
You certainly expect to make that with some extra high cards.
Yep. Alright, so he has invited. Partners accepted. We get to 4 hearts. We get a trump lead. That's probably good news for our side, given our hand. We don't have a hand that looks particularly like we need to start roughing anything.
Yeah, although against that, if Sam is leading a trump because he has some high cards, it's probably not great for us since any of the pointed suits is going to be lying badly for us.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Maybe partner has a 5-card club suit on the side. That would be helpful.
That'd be amazing.
Well, we'll find out in a minute when Amber and Olivia follow to the first trick what our partner's hand looks like.
Yeah, this isn't great because it feels like we're going to lose, I mean, if Sam really had a, normal-ish reason to lead a trump, we're just going to lose 2 spades and 2 diamonds.
Yep. But on the surface, I mean, it looks like we're mostly on the spade finesse for making this contract. And from a practical standpoint, we have to be at worst on the spade finesse because North with the ace-king of diamonds would have led one. But I think you're correct that...
Well, I thought I was correct, but I'm not.
You're absolutely wrong. I never believed you for a second. It is possible that the trumps are 4-1, though.
I think Amber can't believe it herself that that card just won.
Yeah. Okay, Sam leads low from the... Oh, Sam led from Jack 10-9, 4th of hearts, so that makes more sense. It's fairly common in these 4-4 fit auctions to lead from 4 small trumps. Yeah. Sam just elected to treat Jack 10-9, 4th as 4 small. Well, that is going to be down 1. Olivia's going to win the diamond ace, cash the ace of spades, and Sam will have a hard trick. So we should see a claim.
Wait, what is happening here? Did Sam duck the ace of spades? Is that really possible?
No, Olivia just underled the ace twice. Which might make sense if she had ace empty fourth, right? Like if DeClara could have had king queen 10, but she had ace 10 fourth. So there was no way DeClara was misguessing the spade suit. Very strange. All right, we have opened our 14 to 18 no trump in second seat, red. And let's see what our partner does.
Chris, at this point, is basically just playing a robot best hand tournament.
He is, and I don't think he's doing particularly well, but he is certainly playing quickly. So no trump, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds. Just responding to Stamen. What's partner gonna do? Partner bids 3 clubs. Okay, partner's just natural. We bid 3 no. Get on with it.
Yeah, there's no possible.
Ooh.
Well, I take it back. I'm gonna say there's no possible, like, odd thing that he can do, but shows you about now.
I mean, I don't hate the 3 diamond bid, but if our whole purpose was to go quickly, then this is gonna cause a long think from our partner.
Yeah, I think the one problem with it is, like, I'd really like to have a 3rd club for that action, given that we're a little light in high cards.
Well, I'm sure he's thinking that if his partner's shortness is in a major suit, then... Yeah. So Ewan said if partner has a major suit singleton, then diamonds could easily be the right place to play.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, do we think 3 spades shows a spade singleton?
I think 3 spades is just natural.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris obviously thinks it's natural.
Yeah, suggesting that maybe hearts is the weak suit. I mean, I'm not happy to bid 3 no after hearing this auction, because now the opponents are leading hearts against me. But here we are. Well, the auction's not over yet. I mean, partner's not a passed hand. Partner could have extras. She has yet to make any non-forcing bids in the auction.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. Okay, she does have extras. So 4 clubs. Chris bids 4 diamonds. I think regardless of what 4 diamonds shows, that's probably the bid we want to be making with the hand. You say now our hand's not bad. I mean, a lot of our honor cards are working, but we don't have a fit is the main issue that I'm seeing. And without a fit, we really need high cards. So like the Queen of Spades has become an enormous card, opposite partner's spade length. The Ace of Hearts is fine. The Ace King of Diamonds are fine. But Jack Doubleton of Clubs...
If partner has 3 red cards, one way or the other, right? So we've got those covered.
Do you think partner can have a 5-card club suit here still?
I think partner has to be 4, 6 in spades and clubs. So whichever way she has 3 red cards, we can cover all of them in a club contract.
Doesn't the sequence suggest at least 6-4?
That's what I just said.
Well, yeah, that's what Ewan's asking.
I think Amber has to be 6-4.
Okay. I guess we will see. I wouldn't be surprised if partner was not. I think partner should be 6-4 because we haven't actually made any positive noise of any kind. The only questionable bit is 3 diamonds. Like, does this show any sort of positive slam interest in clubs?
I don't think he would bid 4 clubs without a 6th club.
Okay.
I mean, I thought he was probably 6-4 before that, when she bid 3 spades rather than 3 no trump, but I absolutely think it's true when she bid 4 clubs.
Mm-hmm. Reasonable.
Like 3 spades would be a little weird with 4 or 5, don't you think?
Well, something has gone off the rails. Maybe.
Not necessarily. And Amber certainly is just allowed to have the huge hand that she's showing at every point in this auction.
Right, but isn't 5 no kings?
Well, I mean, kings, or just like, if you think your hand is right to bid a grand, bid a grand.
Okay. Yeah, it could be 7-4. I mean, the question from my perspective is, like, do we actually have a club fit? How many points was the one no
From
trump?
point of view, Chris's hand could just be better, right? He has a 14 count. He's sub-minimum.
Yeah, one no was 15 to 17.
Right.
Okay, there is the 6-4.
So well judged by Chris to finally acknowledge that they don't have as good a club fit as he had maybe suggested.
Okay, I mean, it's not a terrible slam, but this is by no means lay down. So what do we do as declare? I mean, my temptation is to rough a heart and lead a club.
Yeah, I think that's what I would do as well.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. I mean, not Chris, Brad, that Chris's hand has become quite good opposite this 6-4 in the blacks, but I was still, like, very skeptical about this Jack Doubleton of clubs value.
I do not care for this play at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to cost too much, but it feels a little bit unnecessary.
And it feels like just, strictly much, much worse. Because now, like, what's going to happen? She'll play a club to the Jack. I guess if everyone follows, she can rough a hard high, but actually she does have this fourth spade to deal with also.
Oh, but you always had the fourth spade to deal with.
Right.
For 14 with Jack Doubleton when last time he had 18 makes it difficult for partner. Right. Yeah, 18 with no jacks, by the way. All aces, kings, and a couple queens. Yeah. You're right.
He did have a queen Doubleton, I think, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, so now... I think you just play a club to the Jack, rough a heart back to your hand, probably play his king another diamond, and then, hope for the best, hope one of the pointed suits is coming in.
Yeah, I have no idea what Amber's thinking about. I mean, to me, club to the Jack, ace, king of diamonds, diamond rough is the plan.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that before drawing trumps?
Well, because we can't. We can pick up 4-2 diamonds and 3-2 clubs this way. But we need to figure out if clubs are 4-1 or 3-2 before we test the diamonds. Like, we can't just go ace, king of diamonds, diamond rough.
Well, that's certainly true.
I mean, we could. It's just then North might be over-roughing the third diamond. So this is why club to the Jack, if they split, then king of diamonds, diamond rough from here, we can rough high. And even if North shows out, then we can pull the last trump.
Right, but then our diamonds aren't set up, though. When the diamonds are 4-2 and we only have one entry left to dummy.
Yeah.
3-3, right?
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. This only works against 3-3 diamonds. So
yeah, and if diamonds are 3-3, you might as well draw trumps and then rough a diamond, hoping that either the diamond split or the Jack of Spades drops.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, right. We got to the same spot eventually. So yes, declare definitely needs to be pulling trumps here. This diamond to the ace is very strange. Yeah, Brad has come up with the 5-head play of use the 9 of spades as an extra entry to set up the 5th diamond. It's like a weird double practice finesse.
If the 9 of spades is an entry, then you don't need to set up the diamond because you just have all the spade tricks.
That's the point, yeah.
Yeah.
But Brad, have you considered the...
there are beer considerations.
Well, Brad, have you considered the refusal play, where when you lead a low spade out of hand, North pops up with the Jack to block the suit? Ah. That's like the 6-head play. Actually, we might be into 7-head territory right now.
Can we look for a fake Grosvenor at some point?
Look for what?
A fake Grosvenor, or whatever it was, that term you can.
Oh, yeah. The man, what was it? I forget what I said. Maybe it wasn't me who said it. I think Aaron made it up. but some sort of weird Grosvenor. I have no idea what's taking so long. Also, I'm sure Chris has no idea what's taking so long.
I cannot imagine how angry Chris is getting right now.
Amber has got up, gone for some dinner, is coming back, sitting in the corner.
Glaring menacingly at the opponents. She just wants to use all the time on her clock. Okay, there's the Jack of Clubs.
She paid her entry fee, right?
Yeah, she paid her entry fee. Oh my. Alright, excellent. Clubs are... Oh, this is really bad for us, right?
Well, now you play King of Diamonds, Diamond Rough. You're not getting over-roughed.
Yeah,
you
but
need either diamonds or spades to break.
I mean, do we play King of Diamonds, Diamond Rough? What if that Jack of Diamonds was a true card? Like, the thing is... Well, okay, Brad, but what spade hook, right? Because we can't get back to the north hand and pull trumps and lead a spade to the 9 and unblock the spade queen and get back to the north hand again. You can't hook north for the spade jack anymore. But what you can do is you can squeeze north in the pointed suits if they happen to hold 4 diamonds and 4 spades. Okay, there's a heart discard, which means that North does not hold 4 diamonds and 4 spades.
So I am a little surprised that at that point of the hand, Amber didn't try the King of Diamonds, because I think if it's getting roughed, he was just toast anyway.
Now?
No, at the point where she roughed a heart to hand to draw trumps.
Oh,
if
well, that's...
the King of Diamonds and it holds.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Ewan was suggesting.
Yeah, I think it looks like diamonds were 3-3 the whole time, right?
And Brad was making us on the spade to the 9. Well played.
Well, yeah, unfortunately not from the position that was reached, but yes, it was possible. So 6 clubs down 1.
Yeah, but I think at the end, at the point where she roughed a heart to her hand to draw trumps, she could have made it just by playing King of Diamonds.
Yes, she could have played for 3-3 diamonds, yes. That is true.
And if they're not, the Jack of Spades might still come in.
Yep.
Alright, well that will not improve East's mood, both that his partner went down and that he took such a long time doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, Brad says Sam would have let a diamond on the auction if the Jack was a true card. Queen 5th. Maybe? Yeah, maybe. I could see that. Alright, well, pace has slowed to a crawl. I apologize for the last hand. I know we expected some speedball here.
They are still 4 boards ahead of the other room.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
And we can hop over there once this room has finished play. But this time, East has opened a club. Mostly because he's not allowed to open a no trump. Oh, wait. No, you said this was WBF rules, right?
I don't think Chris would be tempted to open a no trump here anyway.
Oh, please. It's 14-18. That's what he has.
And it's board 118 of a match that he's winning by 160 imps, so it's possible, but... You know, it's not his style to... Like, he likes to operate, but this is not the way in which he likes to operate.
Got it. So he opens a club. His plan was to rebid a no trump over heart, of course. That last hand was interesting. It was. It was. I think I would have chosen a different line of play, but it's not as if there was an automatic way to make 12 tricks on the previous board. So 3 diamonds. After South has showed spade length, presumably 6, although I suppose it's possible in some scenarios South could have rebid a 5-card suit here. But then North's 1 no-trump bid probably wouldn't make sense. So yeah, it does seem as if spades are 6-2. Chris making, I guess I would call it the technical strong line of play of like ducking to prevent communication in the spade suit from the opponents. And also apparently set up this ruff. He's happy to ruff a spade with the 10 of diamonds and see if that holds. No other real way to get rid of that loser. I mean, he could have like pulled trumps first and then gone after the club suit, but he's elected to try and ruff a spade.
Feels also a bit of a safety play against 4-1 diamonds, right?
Yeah, although it feels a little weird to do this.
I think his plan now is, like, Sam is probably going to play, like, whatever Sam does, he'll draw trumps ending in dummy, he'll play a club to the 10, he'll use a hard entry to lead another club.
Right, but why did we need to do this before pulling trumps?
I think if trumps were 4-1, you'd be happy you did this.
Yeah, I agree with that. That jack of clubs holding is very suspect.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Chris is going to be 100% sure that Olivia's ducked the ace behind him.
Well,
shows you what I know.
I don't think there's any way that South would duck the ace of clubs there, which made me think that's...
You think South ducked the queen? That's not possible.
No, I think North just underled both the ace queen.
Underled ace queen. Yeah, which is also not possible.
All right, 6 of clubs return. That gets roughed. East-West do have 3 tricks in, and if the remaining diamonds are splitting badly, well, Chris can't hook the 7 anymore. So trumps have been pulled. Now he can run the club suit, and he's made... Oh, he made an overtrick. He made an overtrick.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he's not
checking for lurkers.
Lose a club somewhere, yeah.
That's not how King Jack guesses work. When both honors are on side. You think he's like checking the stock market on his phone? You think he would get in trouble if he was doing that in the middle of play?
Yeah, I think he actually does not look at the stock market at all during these things. He does have his venture capital fund, but you know, he and I talk about the markets a fair amount, and when he's at these tournaments, he doesn't look at his quotes at all.
Mm-hmm. All right, 2 boards to go. 1 no trump by South, and then pass. We decide to show both of our major suits with 2 clubs.
Yeah, so
we have a good hand.
Dinkin apparently just scored some imps on something because the match is now only 147 imps.
Yeah, 137. Much closer. They're within striking distance, you might even say.
Oh yeah, so the hand where Chris
opened literally out of it,
counts.
6 boards, 24 imps is 144, so they're now mathematically out of it, right?
Well, 144 is possible, but yes, it feels like they might be out of it by this time.
So Amber is shown equal length. Chris obviously does not have equal length, so he's putting the contract in 2 hearts, and this is going to stay within the auction, but apparently not.
No, well, the no trump is 10 to 12, so...
Right. Yeah, but I thought that if Amber had an invitational hand with equal length, he might start with 2 no trump instead of 2 diamonds.
Hmm.
You know, who knows exactly what they're playing, and it's possible they're just on an incredibly firm ground.
Yep. That seems fair. So Chris is in 4 hearts after finding an invite from his partner. I mean, he's going to be fairly happy. He has a 15 count, even though it doesn't look like one. Queen Jack Doubleton of clubs actually probably useful holding, given that South is likely to have most of the missing high cards, and, well, I guess technically I'm correct. But I was thinking that our partner might have, like, ace third or ace fourth of clubs. So 2 rounds of hearts indicates to me that the diamond...
yeah, it really feels like the ace of diamonds is on side.
Yeah. South easily could have switched to a diamond if she wanted to try and set up tricks in that suit. But I also think Chris is just going to unblock the clubs, use that 3rd heart as an entry to pitch both of his diamonds.
He might pitch 2 spades and he might plan to pitch 2 spades and then lead a diamond up.
Well, but that's like guaranteed to lose a trick, whereas if the spade queen is on side, we just have all the rest of the tricks.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
A little surprised he hasn't claimed yet. He could just ask them about the position of spade queen. And we have found it. Missed our slam.
Not a great slam.
No, being off 2 aces? Probably not. You're right about that. Alright, last board. We have a pretty big hand. We have 21.
So this one, I think he'll open 2 no trump, but we'll see. Also in the interest of getting out of this room as fast as possible. No. Wrong again.
Alright, he makes the correct bid, but we're not here for technically correct bidding. We're here for zip Swiss bidding.
Yeah.
So Chris opens a club. He's going to jump to 2 spades, show a big hand in both of his suits. Seems like a clear-cut 1 club opener. What would you do? Move out of New Zealand? What do you mean this is a clear-cut 1 club opener? This is like 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 no trump. I'm certain of it. Well, a club, a diamond, 2 spades. Partner has some choices to make. So over 3 clubs, I think the normal thing to do would be to bid 3 hearts and kind of pattern out. But 3 no trump also has some practical value. Like, the thing is, over 3 hearts, if partner wanted to effectively transfer us to 3 no, they could bid 3 spades. So I don't believe we lose all that much. But here we are. Diamond opening lead. Chris makes a good play of the jack from dummy. You're probably not going to need all of those diamond honors, so maybe we can induce a cover from north, which we did. And how many tricks do we have? I mean, we have 3 spades, 2 clubs, or 3 spades, 2 hearts, a diamond. So getting 3 club tricks would be enough. And it looks like Chris is hoping that Queen of Hearts is an entry. It is. Once again, missed a slam. This one happens to be a pretty decent slam. Well, maybe not. I guess... I guess 6 clubs is actually quite a poor slam. I don't know what I'm even thinking about.
11 fairly easy tricks here.
No, that's kind of crazy. But okay, so he takes 11 tricks. That is the end of play in this room. We will head over to the other room where they are on board 56. They got 5 boards to play.
5 boards to play.
So 5 comparisons now at 24 imps a board. They could only pick up 120, and they are definitely mathematically eliminated by this stage. East-West in the same, I guess, failing 4-heart contract that they reached in the other room. Similar type of auction. And 9 tricks. So a push at 4 hearts down 1. 4 boards to go. So congrats to Rosenthal. They will be the second team to represent the US in the upcoming mixed World Championships. Where is that being held, by the way? Do you know?
I think somewhere in Northern Europe, but I'm not 100% sure.
All right.
I believe it's in Marrakesh.
Morocco.
Oh, you're correct. It is in Marrakesh.
Okay, Marrakesh. I was going to choose my pick of Nordic countries and just assume that it was there, but Marrakesh sounds good.
Yeah, I think the Europeans are in Strasbourg soon.
Mm-hmm. Well, we get the same no-trump opener on the east hand in this room, and this was probably the most interesting board of the set, at least from what I remember. Most of the boards just kind of flew by. Chris was in like 3 no-trump, making like somewhere between 7 and 12 tricks on the other ones. The youth worlds is in Netherlands. I guess that's not being held at the same time, right? Youth Worlds and the Bermuda Bowl?
I would assume not. Almost certainly not, because I think they would need the same directing and tournament stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so similar start to the auction. Stamen, 2 diamonds, 3 clubs. In the other room, Chris elected to bid 3 diamonds in this position, which I think seems somewhat reasonable. Ron Smith here electing to just bid 3 no trump. And we'll see if West moves over this. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a push for 3 no down 1 and 6 clubs down 1.
It's a little less convenient because over 3 diamonds, West could bid 3 spades. Here, she still wouldn't have shown which major.
Yeah. Well, here it is. We get a heart lead, and Ron is not going to be happy with the contract he ended up in. I mean, obviously 5 clubs is absolutely cold, and 3 no trump has almost no play. Yeah, Brad says maybe they have the agreement that 3 diamonds would show a club fit here. So what's 3 of a major? Is it just like natural-ish? Like, here's where I have some stuff in the majors. So if your major is the same one as mine, then 3 no trump is not the right spot. And if your major is not the same one as mine, then 3 no trump is the right spot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a great sense of how to bid in these auctions, so I'm not sure, but that's obviously how Amber intended it, so maybe that's just normal.
You mean Ron?
No, I mean in the other room we were watching.
Oh, well, Amber had the West cards. I'm saying from Ron's perspective, like over 3 clubs.
Sorry, I thought you meant, the position I got to in the other room. Yeah, I think 3 diamonds, probably just says I have some diamond stuff, and I'm not convinced that 3 no trump is right based on what I know at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean that would kind of be my choice with the East hand if that was the agreement. I mean, whatever 3 diamonds means, it looks pretty natural to make that the bid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the only reason not to would be that you're really not super confident about playing 5 of some minor on a hand like that, unless partner really wants to overrule you.
Wow, oh my god, this hand was actually fascinating in 3 no trump. West...
But yeah, I'm not totally sure what happened here.
Well...
I guess West played ace in another club for some reason?
Yeah, the stiff queen fell. Declare can't give up the lead because the opponent's just run hearts.
Right.
But, So South was kind of squeezed, but for the squeeze to fully operate, West would have needed to keep long clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. 12 imps.
Yeah, because everyone down in the slam.
Oh, South was just legitimately squeezed. And North was also squeezed. Oh my god. Whoa, that hand was amazing. Okay, hold on. That was actually an incredible end position. Ron played the hand so quickly, I wonder if he actually knew what he was doing, or if he was just, like, playing cards and hoping something good happened. But South had to keep all the clubs, otherwise West clubs would be good. South had to keep all of the diamonds because Andrew Rosenthal pitched a diamond from the 8/3, the 8/3 being an important card, but Rosenthal also had to keep all of his major suit cards.
But hang on, after the queen of clubs drops, you've got 2 diamonds, 3 clubs, 3 spades, and a heart, which is 9 tricks.
2 diamonds, 3 clubs, 3 spades, and a heart. Oh.
I mean, sorry and all, but...
Well, that's boring. Wait, no, is that true? He just had 9 top tricks? Oh, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, you're so right. Oh, that's the worst. Did he at least squeeze South for an overtrick? Can I pretend like South was squeezed for an overtrick? So South could get a diamond? No, never mind. He just... Alright, this is the worst day of my life.
Probably think they missed a club slam. Well, they did miss a club slam, except the other pair forgot to make it.
Yeah. Yeah. They thought they missed a club slam. That's so sad. So board 58.
So meanwhile...
If this is the worst day of your life, grad school hasn't been nearly hard enough.
It really wasn't. Grad school was just a cakewalk.
So we have an identical auction, I think, right? No, not identical. South rebid spades in the other room, which West raised. So here, West is raised voluntarily after South passed, which seems a little suspect to me.
Mm-hmm.
And West obviously thinks that East is showing reversing values, which, I think some players would play that way. I'm not one of them.
Yeah, I guess I could go either way on that.
Well, I think here, if I had 4 reversing values, I would just hit 1 no trump.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, yeah, East has just kind of a minimum with some clubs and diamonds. West has raised. I mean, it's not that unreasonable to raise. You do have 4-card diamond support and an ace. Maybe 5 diamonds has some chances, but...
Yeah, I mean, not a very good... I think if you're going to do that, though, you should just bid 2 hearts.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, Declarer has elected to... I don't know, this feels like a weird line of play as well. To use the Ace of Hearts as an entry rather than the King of Diamonds.
Yeah, I actually do kind of like Chris's play in the other room of taking the spade rough, which you might need to anyway, and some of the time it loses, some of the time the Jack of Diamonds on side, some of the time that the rough loses, North is roughing with a 4-card trump holding.
Yeah, but what if... So how many did Chris take? He took 130.
He took 10.
So he ended up losing a spade ruff, and the club ace, and that was it.
Yeah, so how is Ron doing here? It looks like he's just trying to play on cross ruff lines.
Well, clearly not. He's played a spade throwing... Oh, yeah. He's played a spade throwing a club. Yeah, now he's set up kind of a cross ruff.
Yeah. Yeah, presumably that's why he made that play, so... So I think he's going to do pretty well, because he can take 2 heart ruffs low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll do perfectly fine here. I mean, he might even make 11 tricks.
So he'll play a club now. If Migri pitches, the queen pitches her last heart. Can he still manage to hold his losers to 1?
Looks like no. But he's comfortably going to make... hold his losers to 1? Yeah, of course. But he will not be making all 11 tricks from here. So he just gets to ruff this high, ruff a club with the 10 of diamonds, and he'll have 2 more high trumps for 10 tricks. Neither of these would have been the line of play that occurred today.
So what would you have done? Would you have just played 3 rounds of diamonds, ending in dummy, and let a club up?
I mean, that's certainly my match point line, right? Like, that's a very simple line of play at match points. But, like, at teams, I mean, I might play 2 rounds of diamonds ending in dummy, and then lead a club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think three rounds of diamond. You know, if you win the second diamond in your hand and they are 4-1, it feels like bad things are going to happen.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, ace of diamonds, diamond to the king, club, you know, feels like most of the time it's going to work out pretty well for you.
Yeah. All right, 2 boards to go. The lead is 131. Dinkin is going to need a full day 3 to have any chance of coming back. South opens a diamond in first seat. So we saw at the other table, this was the hand where, I forget whoever it was, but the Dinkin-Shireson partnership opened a no trump in the South, 10-12, and Chris was able to show both majors. This 1 diamond opener is going to put Ron in a bit of a difficult spot. I was going to say, like, he could either double or bid a heart, but neither one is great. Like, this 1 heart bid could get passed out. He might be afraid of that with his 15. If he doubled, you know, he might never find a 5-3 heart fit.
Yeah, I think a heart, despite the disadvantage you just mentioned, seemed like the normal action.
Yep. So he balances with a heart. Yeah. Partner shows a limit raise, and now he'll have no issue bidding a game. And I suspect that Migri is just going to lead a club from her holding. I mean, she might lead a spade, but I don't believe that she's going to get off to a trump lead like they did in the other room. Ron has only showed a single suited hand.
Right. It's a huge difference in how the hand is going to look to South.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the spade lead. Like, you're probably not beating the hand no matter what, because your hand is going to be a little too good, but it's hard to imagine how you're beating it on a club lead, although that is what she does.
Yeah, I think she's just, like, going passive, and the club lead won't give up much. If Declare had a 2-way guess for the spade queen, you're probably getting that trick.
Yeah, that's true. I just hope to get a heart, 2 diamonds, and sit back and hope something else is coming your way.
Yeah. Yeah, like flip the pointed suit kings, and I guess partner might need a little bit better clubs so that Declare can't just, like, cash 4 rounds of trump or 4 rounds of clubs. But then, you know, if Declare misguesses the spade, a diamond comes through and you collect your 4 defensive tricks from there. Well, Ron not necessarily playing the hand all that effectively, but he will end up just fine.
Yeah,
Probably.
Lying well. This does seem a little bit sloppy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just like super safe. He was probably expecting that South
I guess
had the
that's
diamond
true.
ace.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever he thinks about the spade queen, he can be 100% sure the diamond ace is in South.
Yep. So king of diamonds, he'll pull the last trump, cross and clubs, pitch a spade loser, and try the spade finesse. And that will be one imp. Brutato says, I don't know if anyone in this match is playing their best right now for some reason. Yes, for some reason. Can't possibly imagine what that reason could be. This is, I think, one of the reasons why it might be a little silly to play out some of these sets, because
I think, particularly at this point, yeah, like, I get it, like, Dinkin wanted to play some more boards with his partner, he at least sat in the last set. He didn't even play the second to last set, though, after insisting that his team play, which, feels like if you're going to sort of take advantage of the fact that you paid the entry fee to play the boards, and then play the boards, none of your pros want to be in this match.
Yeah. Well, Ron may end up taking 10 tricks.
I do not think he is about to take the spade finesse, having cast his last trump.
I agree, because South is marked with the 10 of diamonds and 9 of clubs, so he might go down if he did that. All right, he's gone ace king of spades.
So Ron, certainly not giving this a whole lot of attention.
No.
Can't say I blame him. Down 130 imps with a one board to play.
2 imps. Wow. Chris must be some player. I mean, not only did he make 12 tricks with 2 cashing aces in the opponent's hand, but then his counterpart at the other table only took 10 tricks. Chris spoiled the playing for the experience for Dinkin. That sounds possible. I mean, Ewan and I had been having this discussion, and I know what his position is, just like, yeah, it's totally fine to play, and he thinks that people shouldn't be upset, but people are upset about it, and this is what happens. More boards. More boards.
I mean, I think it was pretty obvious from watching the other table that, that Willenken was not super excited to be there since he was randomizing on a few things, and he was not the only one. Like, it looked like Amber was, not operating, but also just not, not giving it her A game. Olivia obviously just wanted to get to the bar.
I mean, to be fair, the flip side of my belief that you're entitled to play all the boards, your opponents are entitled to, open one and jump on every hand if they really want to.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
I believe your opponents are not entitled to be rude, but they are entitled to be grumpy.
So I have to, full disclaimer on this, that we do not advocate underage drinking on this channel. And Olivia was was not going to the bar. But
you are correct. I was just using that as I forgot that she is in fact not able to do so.
Yeah, not yet.
For the full practice, I mean, I'm pretty sure the drinking age in Marrakesh is like 16 or 18.
Oh,
so
for
really
sure.
get into practice, right?
Yeah, well, we, statute of limitations expired, I'm sure. We had like a 12-year-old kid who was drinking when we went to one of the junior events in Eastern Europe. I think the drinking age in the country was like 13, and he looked like he was about 16, so no one really questioned him, but it was just super weird.
Well, so I played, I haven't seen him in years, but I played a couple of turns with Marius Ajiko, who looked much older than his actual age when he was 19, and he had no trouble getting served.
Yeah. Even in U.S. events?
Oh, he would go to the hotel bar after the tournament and just drink Heineken after Heineken. That was his go-to. Yeah, and he looked like he was about 25 when he was 17, or I guess when he was 19, and no one ever carded him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was saying, I think now he's is 30, so I don't feel bad outing him.
Yeah. Declare has...
Drinking age is 13. Do you remember what country that was? That's crazy.
Yeah, I do. It was Slovakia. I don't remember exactly what the drinking age was, but I know that it was very young. Let me see. I'm looking this up. The legal drinking age is 18. That doesn't sound accurate at all. I don't believe that. There were plenty of like 16-year-olds that we met out at like bars who were just drinking, like from the local town.
Yeah, maybe they're just not. Maybe everyone knows they're just not enforced in any way.
Yeah.
The youngest drinking age in the world is 15 in Mali.
Wow. All right. Match officially over.
And the Central African Republic. Oh, yeah, so... Well, actually, most of Central Europe, it's 16.
Yeah, that I recalled. 16 for a bunch of the places. But Dinkin did win the final segment. They won by 8. So they won both the 7th segment by 37, pretty sizable margin, and then the final segment by 8.
Fine comeback.
Yeah, nice comeback. Unfortunately, they were down by a little bit too much, and I do suspect that if the match was a little bit closer, maybe the opposition for the Rosenthal team would have tried a little bit harder in some of those boards.
Agreed.
But final match score, 349 to 209. Dinkin picking up about half of those in the final 2 segments, and Rosenthal will be USA2.